Immortal Cultivation family, I can see the clues. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126, The Divine Machine. In an instant, many people rushed to the underground. The most powerful one among them was a direct disciple of King Sun's sect. He was originally at the same level of foundation building as Xian, but at this moment, he relied on the mysterious secret method to improve his aura to the realm of Purple Mansion. He also plunged into the underground. The remnants of the Li family should be killed. The 5th level magic weapon will naturally belong to Xianjian's Henrun. Come on, the Nine Suns Heavenly Demon Flag is worried about not having enough spirit. Li Chuanhong laughed loudly, but see how didn't care. Underground, he directly released earth-based spells and shocked the rest of the cultivators to death underground. Only the cultivator who had improved his secret method to Purple Mansion and several foundation building perfections barely resisted. Then he took out a black flag from the ground and jumped out of the ground. Under his control, the small flag, the size of a palm, instantly turned into a huge flag 3 or 4 feet high. On the flag, 9 black-stained and ferocious demon heads were vivid, and countless demon souls were looming. Just one look at it was like sure hell, extremely terrifying. The next moment, countless spirits and demons emerged from the flag. Hanging high in the void, it was like a gate to hell. Lin Yi was also extremely shocked. He did not expect that Li Chuanhong would not run away, but would confront the 3 major sects here without fear. He slaughtered the disciples of the 3 sects. Many cultivators were busy dealing with monsters at this moment, but they did not expect that so many ghosts and demons would appear in an instant. Many people died on the spot, and the dead spirits were absorbed by the Nine Suns Heavenly Demon banner again. In an instant, the entire East City Gate was like purgatory. Lin Yi and others who had been prepared had already withdrawn from the East City Gate. When he learned that it was a 5th level magic weapon, even if it was incomplete, it was not something that they, the foundation building cultivators, could resist. Even if the Purple Mansion came, Lin Yi had no confidence that he could stop Li Chuanhong. Lin Yi also retreated with him. They were only nominal disciples, and they were attacked by demons. On the city wall, they could only become nutrients for the demon banner. At this moment, a purple light appeared in the sky, and 3 long purple giant swords slashed towards the Nine Suns Heavenly Demon banner. It was Zixuan Sanrun. At this moment, Zixuan Sanrun was full of purple energy, like the rising sun, with extraordinary spirit. Boom! 8 great demons emerged from the Nine Suns Heavenly Demon banner. These demons all had the strength of the late Purple Mansion. The most powerful one among them actually had the cultivation of the great perfection of the Purple Mansion. The 8 demons spewed out black gas together, turning into a black gale, and blew fiercely towards the 3 purple swords. For a moment, the purple and black light collided with each other, making a loud noise that resounded through the world. Finally, the purple sword flew back, and the black light disappeared. You dare to show off your power in front of me without even a giant and demon head? Zixuan Sanrun shouted coldly. He continued to fight with Li Chuanhong. Lin Yi in the distance still did not return to the city gate. At present, Li Chuanhong had no intention of leaving, which made him more certain of his inner thoughts. The 5th level magic weapon could not belong to Li Chuanhong, and the one who had captured the heir of the Golden Peng Demon King could not have been Li Chuanhong. Everything showed that there must be a Giant's Henrun here in the 3 sects of the Chu State Demon Dao. But he couldn't figure out what the meaning of Giant's Henrun coming here was, to provoke a fight between the Demon King and this Henrun, or to make the people of Yun's house suffer. The next moment, he got the answer. Not far from Qingyuan City, a terrifying spiritual power fluctuation suddenly emerged, and a stream of black mist poured out. Then a middle-aged man in a black robe and a pale face stepped out of it. Almost at the same time, countless roars and roars resounding through the world were heard again in the Qingyuan Mountains. A swamp cloud dragon soared into the sky, as if a real dragon had come out of nowhere. Then it came madly towards Qingyuan City. Behind it, many demon kings appeared again. Almost all the demon kings in the entire Qingyuan mountain came. At this moment, the middle-aged man in black robe just smiled slightly, and suddenly waved his hand. The Nine Suns Heavenly Demon banner that was fighting with Zixuan Sanrun in the sky immediately fell into the latter's hands. Xianjian, Lin Yi, You have teamed up to cause our Chu state to suffer from the chaos of the East China Sea giant Long. Today, Yuzhou state should do the same. After the middle-aged man in black robe finished speaking, he took out the Nine Suns heavenly demon banner again, and tens of thousands of spirits appeared in an instant. There were also nearly 100,000 ordinary wronged souls. These wronged souls were ordinary mortals, and they were obviously sacrificed by the Li family. This made Lin Shiming shudder. The wronged souls and spirits exploded, and the next moment they were about to sweep away the middle-aged man in black robe and Li Chuanhuan. You want to sacrifice the devil and escape with blood? Have you asked my Shenji Tower? However, at this moment, only a dull voice was heard, and a terrifying giant tower that covered the sky and the sun suddenly appeared in the sky. The giant tower emitted a rich light, instantly locking the entire void. Even if countless demon spirits were sacrificed and turned into blood light, it was impossible for the black-robed middle-aged man to escape. Old demon Mozhuan, leave the golden dragon fruit behind. A figure walked out of the void. It was Shenji's Henrin of Shenji Peak of Qingzhuan sect. Shenji, you are not in seclusion, why are you here? Zhenren Mozhuan's face was extremely ugly at this moment. He didn't expect that his foolproof plan would be tricked by Qingzhuan sect at this moment. But then he spoke again, old Taoist Shenji, even if you stabilize the situation in Yunzhou here, how can you stabilize the border between Zhao and Chu? Zhenren Shenji did not reply immediately, but turned his head to look at the others fighting in the void. The fellow Taoists of the demon clan over there, stop and have a good talk. After hundreds of years of practice, why bother fighting for a while? The Jinpeng Demon King and other demon kings over there also stopped immediately. After saying this, seeing that no one had stopped fighting, Master Shenji suddenly opened up his cultivation, and a terrifying spiritual power instantly covered the entire world. Golden Core Great Perfection. Mozhuan's face became extremely ugly again. They had calculated everything, but they didn't expect that Master Shenji would actually break through the Golden Core Great Perfection. The Demon Kings also stopped immediately after sensing Master Shenji's cultivation. With 3 Golden Core Masters and a 5th-level Spirit Beast from the Qingxun sect, they were powerless. Not to mention facing Master Shenji at this moment. Human Taoist friend Yun Jiao just fell into a rage, and I believe he will come at that time. The Golden Peng Demon King was also a little guilty at this moment. The rage of his offspring being captured also gradually calmed down. The destruction of Qingyuan City was enough to shock the human race. The human race master and the Demon King began to sit and talk, and Lin Shiming also breathed a sigh of relief. And the next content was also monopolized by a formation, and he had no way of knowing it. But it was obvious that the beast tide would come to an end. What is more favorable to the Lin family is that the Qingxun Tower is said to be the treasure of the Qingxun sect, and it is a 5th-level top-grade magic weapon. Li Chuanhun and Mo Xiu Jinden naturally cannot escape. Shiming, go back to the family. Lin Zianzi looked at the family members at the side. There are only 15 of the 40 key training cultivators left, and 2/3 of them are dead. And you have to know that these are the elite of the family. Chapter 127 Mysterious Book Magical Treasure. In the cave beside the Qinglian Pond, Lin Shiming opened his eyes and took a deep breath. After 3 days, he finally recovered from the beast tide. On that day, he and Lin Zianzi returned to Fangmu Mountain and worked together to defeat the beasts that came to attack the mountain. Fortunately, most of the 3rd-level and 4th-level monsters are outside Qingyuan City. There are only 3 3rd-level monsters on the Lin family's Fangmu Mountain, and they are all in the early 3rd level. With the joint efforts of Lin Haoyun and Lin Shiji, plus the Fangmu Mountain formation, they still waited for Lin Shiming and Lin Zianzi to come to the rescue. After driving away the monsters, Lin Shiming returned to the mountain to heal his wounds, while his 7th uncle Lin Zianzi went to Nanling Mountain in Lingnan County to assist Lin Haoyong in defeating the beast tide. Everything was ready, and Lin Shiming began to count the harvest from the beast tide. He first sorted out the monster materials. These materials were both 3rd and 2nd level. After a rough calculation, these monster materials alone were worth about 100,000 spirit stones. This was based on the premise that too many monsters were killed and the monster materials depreciated greatly. Otherwise, it would be even more. You have to know that Lin Shiming killed more than a dozen 8-like 3rd-level monsters. Of course, these materials also made Lin Shiming think about refining weapons. The family had gold, iron and stone veins, and there were so many monster materials. The family also had a batch of first and second level monsters, which were enough to support him to go far enough on the road of refining weapons. As soon as the refining materials were collected, Lin Shiming released the golden winged mantis. At this time, the golden winged mantis was quite miserable. It had 2 legs, but now only one was left. The other one was blown up by Li Chuanhong in Qingyuan City. The golden winged mantis squeaked, and its huge body was already a little taller than Lin Shiming. Its triangular head couldn't help but touch Lin Shiming's forehead intimately. Lin Shiming also took a step back and gently touched the head of the golden winged mantis, with some regret in his eyes. Then he took out the healing pill and fed it to the golden winged mantis again. He also took out the 3rd level spiritual water from the Qinglian pond and fed a large bowl to the golden winged mantis. The golden winged mantis crawled on the wall of its stone chamber again, and Lin Shiming finally took out a new storage bag and a new spirit beast bag. The things in this storage bag and the spirit beast bag all belonged to the disciples of the spirit beast sect in Qingyuan City. After letting the golden winged mantis assassinate him that day, he immediately went downstairs and swapped the storage bracelet with the spirit beast bracelet. Lin Shiming first opened the storage bag, and in the storage bag, Lin Shiming first took out a gray cloth bag magic weapon. Lin Shiming saw the magic of this cloth bag magic weapon. At that time, the corpse of the 6-winged mantis was directly taken away by this cloth bag magic weapon. The cloth bag felt cold to the touch, but after inputting the true essence, he suddenly discovered that this cloth bag magic weapon was actually a 3rd grade upper grade magic weapon. Its effect is particularly effective against monsters. As long as it is a 3rd grade monster that is seriously injured by a hammer, it can be forcibly sucked in, and the monster can be directly killed through the demon wind in the bag. Of course, this cloth bag magic weapon can also release strong wind attacks, and can be comparable to ordinary 3rd grade upper grade magic weapons. The key point is that the requirement for true essence is not as high as that of 3rd grade upper grade magic weapons. This is another surprise for Lin Shiming. Let's call you the heavenly demon bag. Lin Shiming smiled and put away the cloth bag magic weapon, preparing to refine the heavenly demon bag once this matter was completed. In addition to the heavenly demon bag magic weapon, Lin Shiming found 2 3rd grade middle grade magic swords and a 3rd grade middle grade shield in the storage bag. The remaining magic weapons were not in Lin Shiming's eyes. At the same time, there were still a lot of monster materials in the storage bag. What surprised Lin Shiming was that in this storage bag, there were not only the corpses of the 6-winged monster mantis, but also many corpses of monkey monsters. In the body of a powerful golden ape, there was a 3rd level inner pill that had not been taken out. This was a ray of hope. The red-haired monster monkey was finally expected to be promoted to a 3rd level monster. At that time, his combat power would be higher. Otherwise, the 2nd level monster would not be of much help to him now. If there was no chance this time, I am afraid that Huang Mao would fall into the fate of a golden eagle. With a 3rd level inner pill, he would go to the family to ask for a demon-breaking pill. If he still couldn't break through the 3rd level monster, then Lin Shiming would have no choice. He put away the monster materials and looked at the jade slips again. Most of the jade slips were about the habits and capture of monsters, as well as some secret formations. This was helpful to Lin Shiming, but not as good as the introductory manual for beast control that he had obtained from the monk surnamed Wu before. This made Lin Shiming a little disappointed, but after a little thought, he also knew that it was impossible for all disciples of the Spirit Beast sect to take out the sect's secrets. However, the next moment, Lin Shiming actually saw a yellow book, which puzzled him. Most of the secrets of the cultivation world are on jade slips, and the preservation time of jade slips is obviously longer than that of books. However, when he picked up the book, he suddenly found that the book was actually a magic weapon. The whole book was made of mysterious animal skin, but after inputting the true essence, it was found that the book was a broken 4th level magic weapon. This surprised him, and when he opened the book, it actually recorded the secret method of raising insects and the secret method of promoting the evolution of spirit beasts. The whole book has only 7 or 8 pages, 2 of which are about refining a special elixir that promotes spirit insects and spirit beasts to devour and reproduce each other. The other pages are the secret method of transferring the blood of demon beasts, which is a method called the secret method of blood demon returning to the ancestors. For Lin Shiming, this is no less than the secret method of Xianmu planting spirits. He finally understood why the disciples of the Spirit Beast sect were hunting down precious monsters everywhere. It was obvious that one was to purify their bloodlines, and the other was to breed and obtain precious monsters. Lin Shiming couldn't stop for a long time, and thought of the soul-devouring ants again. He opened the soul beast bag and took out a jade box. Dozens of soul-devouring ants were buzzing inside. Each soul-devouring ant had not swallowed spiritual energy for a long time and was suppressed by the spiritual jade. At this moment, they looked listless and no longer as fierce as they were that day. If this kind of soul-devouring ant is well cultivated, it is inevitable that it will show the fierce power that broke the formation that day. The more Lin Shiming thought about it, the more excited he became, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. However, he also knew that this matter could not be rushed. The soul-devouring ants were extremely fierce. If they were dealt with now, they might resist in the end. It would be better to put them into the spiritual jade to grind their fierceness. He put away the books and magic weapons, and looked at the remaining things in the storage bag and the spirit beast bag. There were only 70,000 to 80,000 spirit stones in the storage bag. In the spirit beast bag, there was a third-level monster, but the third-level monster had already recognized its master and had been backfired by the spirit contract. It had lost the need to continue to cultivate it, so he killed it directly and used it as a material for training. In the corner of the storage bag, Lin Shiming was surprised to find two Blood Evil Thunders. Blood Evil Thunders are the true essence secret thunders condensed by thunder attribute cultivators who consume their essence in blood. They are one-time attack items, but they are not small in the world of Immortal Cultivation. They are almost equivalent to the full-strength attack of thunder cultivators in the late stage of foundation building. If used well, it is very likely to seriously injure cultivators in the late stage of foundation building. Seeing this, Lin Shiming was also somewhat fortunate that the golden-winged mantis succeeded in a sneak attack in the chaotic environment of Kingayan City that day. Otherwise, if they really fought, he might not be the opponent of the Spirit Beast sect disciple. Not to mention other things, a single round of these two Blood Evil Thunders could save him from death. Chapter 128 Arrangement. In the meeting hall of Fangmu Mountain, the top leaders of the Lin family gathered again. Lin Xianzi had already rushed back from Lingnan County. Because there were still some remaining monsters, Lin Haoyong still stayed there with many disciples. The rest of the Lin family monks gathered in the meeting hall again, just like the clan meeting every 3 years. But this time everyone was more sad. Almost at the same time, everyone came to the ancestral temple with solemn faces and began to worship the tablets. Lin Shiming, as the head of the family, was at the front. Put up the new tablet, burn incense, and read the sacrificial words. After a sad speech, everyone looked sad. After the ancestor worship, it was the family's compassion money. Lin Haozi, the 8th level of key training, the contribution degree is 8,000, recorded in the book, and left to the direct descendants of spiritual roots. Lin Shiming read out the 38 monks who passed away this time one by one, and these contribution degrees will also be open and fair, and left to their direct descendants. This made everyone even more sad. Even the fox mourns when a rabbit dies, not to mention that this is a clan member who once fought together. But at the same time, because of the fairness and justice of the family, the cultivators have a higher sense of identity with the family. You know, if a casual cultivator dies, let alone someone to imprison the body and pass it on to future generations. As long as it is not used by some evil cultivators to practice, it is considered a lucky thing. The dead are gone, and the living need to be stronger. The glory of the Lin family needs the creation of you. Lin Shiming moistened his throat and spoke again. The confidence in his words also made many Lin family children yearn for it. Now let the 7th uncle announce the meritorious person. After Lin Shiming finished speaking, Lin Xianzi announced the merit this time. Of course, the credit announcement can only be made by Lin Xianzi, who has the greatest credit and the strongest strength. This disaster is unprecedented in 100 years, but the Lin family is lucky to have you all, who have helped to protect the Lin family's foundation and dignity. I declare that the person with the greatest credit this time is Lin Shiming, the head of the Lin family. He has killed more than 23rd level monsters and countless 2nd level monsters. He has contributed 100,000 points and has retained the materials of the harvested spirit beasts. The family will provide him with 2 3rd level magic tools for free. Lin Shiji is the 2nd most meritorious person. He has killed 4 3rd level monsters and countless 2nd level monsters, and has made contributions to protecting the family Fang Mushin. He has contributed 60,000 points and has retained the materials of the harvested spirit beasts. The family will provide him with a third-level magic tool for free. The subsequent credits were announced one by one, and it took a full half-day. Every living cultivator has made contributions and everyone has a reward. After that, Lin Yi announced that all Lin family cultivators must participate in the monster elimination war. The Lin family has lost almost a quarter of its cultivators. At this moment, they need to increase the number of cultivators, so they cannot allow mortals in the family to continue to be harmed. Otherwise, it will affect the quality of the Ascension Conference. When everyone dispersed, only a few foundation-building cultivators, a group of 9th-level key training elders, and Lin Haoxuan, who was temporarily acting as the head of the alchemy hall at the 8th level of key training, were left. The beast tide has definitely ended. The Qingxuan sect's Shenji's Henrin has reached a consensus with the demon king of the Qinghai Mountains, but at the same time, the demon sect has also started a war on the border between Chu and Zhao. The two countries have completely torn their faces apart. Lin Yi said slowly with a serious expression. This made everyone's face suddenly change. As soon as the beast tide ended, the two countries fought again. But at present, Qingxuan sect has promised that, unless it is a crisis, Yunzhao Foundation building family will not send out cultivators within 5 years. At the same time, 1 year later, Qingxuan City will hold the Qingxuan Conference in advance. This time, a large number of foundation building pills will be exchanged, and the starting price will be directly halved. Shiming, next, it's up to you to arrange it. Lin Yi looked at Lin Shiming again. He was full of admiration for the latter at this moment. He also entrusted everything to him and trained him with all his strength. Lin Shiming also nodded and slowly said, "My elders, at this time of natural disaster, I hope that all the elders will work together to overcome the difficulties together. Please give the order to the head of the family." The elders replied in unison. "Grandpa, as the elder of the Law Enforcement Hall, you should take the lead, and Uncle's Monster Hunting Hall should be the auxiliary. You must ensure that there will be no more monsters causing trouble in Xing County." "Yes, family head." "Fourth Grandpa, as the elder of the Equipment Refining Hall, you must increase the investment in equipment refining recently, and try your best to refine the monster materials confiscated by the family into spiritual armor and spiritual weapons. Ensure that the magic weapons of the family cultivators can keep up." "Yes, family head." 15th Uncle, the Alchemy Hall must also increase the investment in alchemy, just in case. If something happens on the Zhaochu border, we may go to the battlefield at any time. So in the next period of time, the family will focus on refining elixirs to improve cultivation and healing elixirs. "Yes, family head." 5th Grandpa, the family's financial problems will definitely be in short supply after this battle. The family needs you to transport most of the second-level equipment refining materials to Xuzhou and Qingzhou. Those two continents have not experienced the beast tide, but must go through the Zhaochu border war. Our spiritual beast materials may not decrease but increase. In addition, contact Uncle Wu for the family's gold, iron and stone, and mine and sell them. Uncle Seven is also famous in the beast tide in Qinghai City this time. The Li family has been eliminated. Now it is a great opportunity for our Lin family to develop. "Yes, Patriarch." Lin Yuzhang also agreed happily. "Uncle, now the major formations of the family have been damaged to varying degrees. Now you will set up the formation hall. You must ensure that the formations of the major industries of the family are restored to normal within half a year." "Yes, Patriarch." The rest of the foundation building elders will serve as mobile cultivators. They must ensure that one of them is not in cultivation to prevent any missed third-level monsters at any time. Lin Shiming distributed all the major matters one by one. All the family elders agreed very much and became more and more satisfied with the 28-year-old patriarch of the Lin family. The clan meeting ended here. What Lin Shiming didn't expect was that Lin Yi also gave Lin Shiming 5 third-level monkey monster corpses and 2 third-level mantis monster corpses from the storage bag. At the same time, he took out a pill bottle, which was the limb renewing pill. The effect of this elixir is to regenerate broken limbs, and it can also regenerate monsters. "Thank you, 7th Uncle." Lin Shiming immediately thanked him. If the former corpse is fine, the latter limb-breaking pill is a third-level top-grade elixir, which is extremely precious. "You're welcome." After Lin Yi finished speaking, he also went to the King Lianxi cave. He had not rested for a long time and needed to treat his injuries. Lin Shiming came to the treasure house and began to exchange the spiritual materials for the blood demon reversion secret method and the materials for the demon luring pill that prompted monsters to devour each other and evolve. The former is fine, but it is just a secret method, and he can perform it himself. For the latter, he can only find his 15th uncle in Haoxun, hoping that the other party has mastered the detailed explanation of the formation and can refine the third-level elixir across levels. The blood demon reversion secret method focuses on the method and the blood of various monsters of the same type. This time he has a total of nearly 20 third-level demon monkey bloodlines, which is completely sufficient. After gathering the other spiritual materials in the treasure house, he entered the cave again. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129, Bloodline Return Secret Method. The furnishings in the King Lin Yi cave were very simple, with only the walls and faces in monotonous gray and white. In front of a stone bed, Lin Shiming sat cross-legged on a cushion. This cushion was one of the 2 cushions that Lin Shiming found in the Zifu cave. On the cushion, Lin Shiming found that whether he was meditating or practicing secret techniques, he could achieve twice the result with half the effort. Because of this, in just 10 days, he had practiced and deduced the blood demon's return to the ancestors' secret technique countless times, and with the daily guidance of the system prompts, he finally mastered it. This is basically non-existent for other people. A third-level secret technique would take at least several months, or even half a year. Lin Shiming walked to the stone chamber of the red-haired demon monkey. At this moment, the red-haired demon monkey was very quiet. When he brought it out of the Peach Blossom Valley, he knew that the red-haired demon monkey's intelligence was far superior to other spirit beasts. It was also because it controlled the Zuanshu Chongshan that gave Lin Shiming the inspiration to give the King Lian Taoist robe to the golden-winged mantis. Normal cultivators would never think of giving third-level robes to spirit beasts. And he also knew that since the golden-winged mantis broke through to the 3rd level, the red-haired demon monkey was not as lively as before, and there was a trace of anxiety in its light green pupils. The golden eagle had been trained by Lin Shiming to be the family's messenger, and it also assumed the responsibility of a flying demon beast. At this time, the demon monkey was more than 3 meters tall. Lin Shiming stepped forward to touch the red-haired demon monkey's hair, but could only touch the red-haired demon monkey's arm. But at this moment, the once naughty red-haired demon monkey also surprisingly bent down and let Lin Shiming touch its forehead. "Try hard and live up to your courage," Lin Shiming murmured, as if he was talking to the red-haired demon monkey, and also to himself. Then he took out a huge bathtub and filled it with a prepared liquid medicine. After the liquid medicine was poured, he took out several corpses of the 3rd-level demon monkeys. The red-haired demon monkey's physique was biased towards earth and fire attributes. Even if the bloodline returned to the ancestral fusion, it could not be integrated with the water attribute and the wood attribute. Otherwise, if there is natural discord, it is not the return of the bloodline, but the return of the way to the west. The red-haired demon monkey was beside him, howling softly. Lin Shiming ignored it and continued to add the liquid medicine. While adding the liquid medicine, he cast a spiritual spell. First, it was a relatively simple 2nd-level spiritual spell, and then slowly turned into a 3rd-level spiritual spell. After casting 9,981 spiritual spells in a row, they were all reduced to a more complex spiritual pattern. Once the spiritual pattern was formed, it was like a flowing net, extremely strange. At this time, Lin Shiming took out a well-preserved demon monkey corpse and cast a spiritual spell. When this spiritual spell was cast, blood filled the sky. The spiritual spell cast was not a righteous spiritual spell, but a magic spell used by demon cultivators to refine essence in blood. Although Lin Shiming disliked demon cultivators, sometimes he had to admit that the methods of demon cultivators were really not easy to use. In the blink of an eye, the entire 4 or 5 meter tall demon monkey corpse condensed into a ball of essence in blood as big as a bowl. The corpse had shrunk into a pool of rotten skin and broken bones. Under the control of the spiritual spell, the blood essence fell into the spiritual net formed by the spiritual spell, and finally filtered out 3 drops of bright red spiritual pattern blood and fell into the bathtub. As soon as the 3 drops of blood fell in, the originally calm medicine liquid suddenly seemed to boil and began to bubble continuously. Lin Shiming looked solemn, without any pause, and cast the spiritual spell again. 9981 spiritual spells continued to condense back and forth. 1 monster beast. 2 monster beasts. 10 monster beasts. At this moment, Lin Shiming was sweating profusely. After casting a total of 981 spiritual spells, it condensed into 10 filter net spiritual arrays. The dual pressure on the true essence and spirit was extremely great. However, Lin Shiming couldn't stop at this moment, otherwise all the previous efforts would be wasted. As the last spiritual spell was cast, at this moment, the 10 spiritual nets condensed into a monkey spiritual pattern under the last spiritual spell, and hid in the medicine liquid. In an instant, red mist filled the sky, and the whole room was like tens of millions of monkeys howling, jumping, and rolling. Go in. Lin Shiming let the red-haired demon monkey enter the bathtub. Ayo! A sharp sound of pain was heard. Lin Shiming looked at the red-haired demon monkey with a ferocious face and howled, and quietly left the stone room, and then closed the formation tightly. After a series of spiritual spells, his spirit was exhausted. The spiritual spells that followed were not the spiritual spells of the third stage early stage, but the spiritual spells of the third stage late stage. With his cultivation in the early stage of foundation building, it was a miracle that he could finish it without making any mistakes. At this point, he could only hope that the red-haired demon monkey would be successful. At the same time, the red-haired demon monkey took out the limb-renewing pill as soon as the matter was done, and went towards the golden-winged mantis. The golden-winged mantis was still idly clinging to the wall, and the whole wall was emitting golden light. After Lin Shiming fed the limb-renewing pill to the golden-winged mantis, the latter once again showed an extreme desire for spiritual food. Lin Shiming first took out the third-stage spiritual beast meat, then took out a large bowl of third-stage spiritual water, and took out a large amount of beast-raising pills. The golden mantis calmed down and continued to crawl on the wall to take a nap. A golden spiritual light suddenly surged from the whole body. A sickle slowly formed on the broken arm of the golden mantis. It should take less than half a month for the sickle of the golden mantis to recover. Lin Shiming finally breathed a sigh of relief, left the stone room, and began to take care of the spiritual plants. First, he took care of the cultivated third-level vine purple gold vine, and then he sent true energy to the shining fruit tree and the small magic tree. The purple gold vine is his current fighting method, and he cultivated as much as possible. 3 days later, Lin Shiming only felt a sudden rumbling sound in the stone room. Lin Shiming's consciousness penetrated a wall, but suddenly found that the red-haired demon monkey had emerged from the bathtub, and his body was still covered with red hair. But now the red hair is like a burning flame, constantly flashing, and a terrifying high temperature is coming. But what surprised him was that the size of the red-haired demon monkey was actually a little smaller. From more than 3 meters tall before, it was only about 2 meters tall, but its muscles were even stronger, like several twisted roots, which were extremely explosive. The red-haired demon monkey hit the stone wall fiercely, and the whole cave was shaking. The power was obviously countless times greater than before. You know, the red-haired demon monkey was already extremely powerful before, and now it has increased several times, and there is also the fire control method. At this moment, he didn't know what kind of monkey the red-haired demon monkey had turned into. But it can be clearly known that it will not be a big problem for the red-haired demon monkey to break through the third-level demon beast at this time. While thinking, Lin Shiming also opened the stone chamber formation. The latter was still roaring and smashing the wall with the third-level solid spirit formation, venting his fierce emotions. However, the next moment, the wall with the formation turned into a spider web with a naked eye. It can be seen how powerful the red-haired demon monkey is. In addition, Lin Shiming also discovered that the red-haired demon monkey's tail had changed again, from more than 1 meter before to more than 10 feet long. Chapter 130 The Whereabouts of the Demon Luring Grass. When the red-haired demon monkey saw Lin Shiming coming, he immediately ran over. When he got to Lin Shiming, he beat his chest with both hands, like a gibbon, and howled. He was extremely excited, but at the same time, his big eyes were staring at Lin Shiming's storage bag. The meaning was self-evident. Lin Shiming chuckled, took out the storage bag, and put out a large amount of spiritual food, spiritual water, and beast-raising pills. The latter immediately devoured it, and his appetite was 3 or 4 times larger than before. Fortunately, at this time, he had 7 or 8 storage bags, the largest of which was as big as a hall, which stored a large amount of demon beast materials. He was also the head of the Lin family, otherwise it would be really stressful to raise these two beasts. Lin Shiming was still looking at the red-haired demon monkey, but for a while he couldn't understand why its tail had become so long and had a lot more hair. After observing for a while, without any results, he left the cave and went to the alchemy hall. At this moment, he still had a lot of things to do. The most important thing at the moment was to ask his 15th uncle Lin Haoxun whether he had mastered the detailed explanation of the array and whether he could refine the third-level elixir, the demon-breaking pill and the demon-luring pill. When he came to the alchemy pavilion, the family had more apprentices due to their vigorous efforts in alchemy and refining. What made him laugh and cry was that there was someone teaching alchemy at the moment, and the strictness was even worse than that of the second elder Lin Yuki before. It was Lin Shitao. At this time, Lin Shitao was also wearing a green Taoist robe, looking a little dashing. When several apprentices failed to control the furnace, he immediately stepped forward to preach together, and then taught them personally. Shitao, where's the 15th uncle? Lin Shiming waited for Lin Shitao to finish his instructions before asking from the side. 7th brother, why are you here? Lin Shitao's face was full of joy. Looking for Uncle 15 to refine some pills. Oh. He's refining pills next to second grandpa's alchemy room. After Lin Shiming waited in the alchemy pavilion for a long time, Lin Haoxun finally came out of the alchemy room. He was full of joy, but also had fatigue that could not be concealed. Master, you are here. Lin Haoxun was amazed when he was first taught the alchemy method of formations by the second elder. In this way, he also refined the third-level Pilhuian pill. In the future, the Lin family will have a third-level alchemist again. Of course, he also knew that the detailed explanation of formations was contributed by the younger master in front of him. Uncle 15, Shiming has to trouble you to refine a pill. My demon monkey spirit beast is only one step away from breaking through the third-level demon beast category. Demon breaking pill. Lin Haoxun and Lin Shitao inherited Lin Yuki's alchemy inheritance together, so he also knew about the demon-breaking pill and had begun to try to refine it. Yes, there is another kind of elixir. Lin Shiming took out another jade slip, which was the demon-luring elixir he had downloaded from the appendix of the magic weapon book. Another third-level elixir recipe. Lin Haoxun's eyes lit up, and his eyes changed when he looked at Lin Shiming. The Lin family didn't have many third-level elixir recipes, such as the demon-luring elixir and the demon-breaking elixir, but Lin Shiming has now taken out two. Lin Haoxun took the jade slip, checked it, and said with a frown, Master, this elixir is really a genius creation. It is the best elixir for cultivating demon beasts. It's a pity that the family doesn't have demon-luring grass. This demon-luring grass is actually a kind of spiritual grass on the seashore. It doesn't exist in Yunzhao or even the entire Zhao state. After saying this, Lin Shiming was also a little depressed. He thought that he could let the spirit-devouring ants reproduce and then recognize the master, but now it seems that without the demon-luring grass, the demon-luring elixir cannot be refined. Otherwise, with the spirit-devouring ants, it would be a huge advantage for exploring the caves or ruins of ancient monks. Shiming, you can try Kingsun City. This Kingsun conference is jointly held by the three sects. There will be a trade fair for foundation building cultivators at that time. Maybe the fellow Taoists from the Spirit Beast sect will have it. Okay, thank you Uncle 15, and I'll take care of the demon-breaking pills. Lin Shiming nodded, knowing that he had to go to Kingsun City to buy 2 foundation building pills for the family. You're welcome, Patriarch. After exchanging pleasantries with the two, Lin Shiming returned to the Kinglian Pond and informed Lin Xianxi of his plan to lead the team to Kingsun City. His 7th uncle Lin Xianxi also agreed readily. He had already witnessed Lin Shiming's strength. Ordinary mid-stage foundation building cultivators might not be able to do anything to Lin Shiming. So he gave Lin Shiming another third-level spirit boat. Speaking of which, he was familiar with this third-level spirit boat. It was the third-level spirit boat of Wang Yunqi of the Wang family, which was comparable to the full power flight of a third-level mid-stage flying demon beast. Now that it fell into his hands, he was also very moved. 1 month later, Lin Haoxun refined the demon-breaking pill as expected. After Lin Shiming retrieved the pill, he directly fed it to the red-haired demon monkey. After the latter swallowed another third-level demon beast inner pill, it finally began to break through the third level and huddled in the stone chamber like a huge fireball. After Lin Shiming confirmed the red-haired demon monkey's condition again and again, he also walked out of the stone chamber and began to practice the exercises. Although he had reached the foundation building stage, he still needed to persevere in cultivation and accumulate little by little. Half a year had passed, and he did not wait for the red-haired demon monkey to come out of seclusion, but at this moment, the golden-winged mantis had completely recovered. During this period, Lin Shiming once again used the secret method of blood return to the ancestral lineage on the golden-winged mantis. He purified the blood of the only six-winged demon mantis on the golden-winged mantis. Since there was only one, the effect was not great, but it was visible to the naked eye that the third pair of wings of the golden-winged mantis became more slender. At full speed, Lin Shiming also felt dizzy. A talisman flew into the cave, and Lin Shiming put it away. It was the notification that the Qingxuan conference was about to begin. Lin Shiming came to the meeting hall, and the elder of the treasure house took out a storage bag and handed it to Lin Shiming. There were exactly 200,000 spiritual stones in it, and this was also the hope that Lin Shiming could buy back 2 foundation-building pills. The danger in the future is getting bigger and bigger. Since the 3 sects have united to start the Qingxuan conference, the Lin family naturally hopes to obtain more foundation-building pills. Only if there are enough foundation-building cultivators can the Lin family prosper in the future crisis. The 5th elder Lin Yi, as well as the newly promoted elders Lin Yi and Lin Haoxun, went with them this time. The breakthroughs of Lin Yi and Lin Haoxun greatly surprised the Lin family. If the Lin family did not have any foundation-building seeds before, now Lin Yi and Lin Haoxun immediately became the foundation-building seeds of the Lin family. Especially Lin Haoxun, he is an alchemist. If he breaks through, his value to the Lin family is even more significant. After explaining most of the family affairs, Lin Shiming also drove the spirit boat and prepared to go to Qingxuan City. Just before leaving, Lin Yi suddenly appeared. It has been a long time since they last met since they obtained the body-tempering spirit flower together. At this moment, Lin Yi also stayed at the 8th level of key training. At the age of 30, he can have this level of cultivation, which is enough to show Lin Yi's efforts. Master, I have reached a bottleneck. Can we go to Qingxuan City together? Lin Yi was as honest as before. Thanks to Ajo and Zai for sending the monthly ticket. Chapter 131 The Road to Spiritual Food. In Qingxuan City, a spiritual boat slowly landed. It was Lin Shiming and others who came from afar. They put away the spiritual boat and walked towards the city gate. The city gate was more lively than before, especially the monks setting up stalls. You know, more than 10 years ago, Lin Shiming also came to Qingxuan City once, also for the Qingxuan conference, but this time it was much more grand and lively than the previous one. In addition, there were many monks from other states who came. Just by looking at the fact that there were many monks with storage bracelets, it can be seen that many people from the Lingxiao sect also came. The previous Qingxuan conference was held by only one sect, but this time, the Qingxuan conference was held by 3 sects together. Just the reputation of the Lingxiao sect and the Lingfu sect, none of the monks from the 4 continents under the Qingxuan sect could suppress their excitement. Lin Yi's expression at this time was like this. This was his first time to participate in the Qingxuan conference in Qingxuan City. Unlike Lin Yi, who had been in the martial arts world for a long time, his eyes were eager to go into the casual cultivator's place and search for treasures. I hoped to harvest a 3rd-level monster larva like Lin Shiming. Second brother, the stalls outside are all for cultivators who are reluctant to enter the city. Lin Shiming said with a bit of a laugh. Lin Yi smiled and touched the back of his head. He didn't say anything, but his eyes were restrained. The group entered the city gate as usual. However, when they entered the city gate, they felt a majestic majesty coming from the city gate. Suddenly, everyone in their hearts trembled. Lin Shiming raised his head in surprise, but found that the 3 words Qingxuan City were unusual. He took a look and felt his eyes hurt. A sharp sword energy came from the sky. He quickly looked away and reminded others, don't look at the Qingxuan City plaque. But his reminder was obviously slow. The others were all sweating profusely, as if they had experienced a war. The fear in their eyes remained for a long time. This should be to deter the villains. Lin Shiming thought in his heart. These 3 words were obviously mentioned recently. He couldn't help but think of the Li family. It was obvious that the Qingxuan sect was dissatisfied with some families and was also warning everyone. The group did not look at the plaque again and lined up to enter. It was still 10 spirit stones per person, and a total of 50 spirit stones were paid. Let's go to Lin Yi Tower, Lin Shiming said. He was most familiar with that place, and the idea of spiritual food was still conceived at time. Lin Yi Tower was still decorated luxuriously and there was an endless stream of monks coming and going. Lin Yi Tower had a total of 3 floors. Regardless of the flow of people or the cultivation of the monks, everyone looked at it sideways, especially Lin Haoyi, Lin Yi and Lin Haoxun. They thought that their Xingxin restaurant was already quite luxurious, and the number of monks was enough to be proud of, but after seeing Lin Yi Tower, they also knew that the Lin family still had a long way to go. Senior, do you have an appointment? The servant in the middle stage of key training bowed his head and bowed to greet him as usual. No, open a private room on the 2nd floor and prepare 5 more rooms. Okay, please come, senior. Lin Shiming led everyone to the 2nd floor and chose a private room. He ordered a spiritual meal. As expected, Lin Yi Tower had spiritual meals made from spiritual fish. What surprised him was that the red spiritual fish spiritual meal was the lowest level in Lin Yi Tower. The highest level spiritual fish spiritual meal was already the 3rd level lower grade spiritual fish meal. 5th Grandpa, how is the Lin's restaurant in Xing County doing recently? Lin Shiming asked Lin Yazhang next to him while eating. Unlike Lin Yi and Lin Haoyi, he is now the head of the Lin family, so he naturally has many more things to consider. Lin Yazhang understood Lin Shiming's question immediately and smiled. Master, currently the Lin's restaurant mainly sells Kingling wine and monkey wine. As for the spiritual food, it includes spiritual fish spiritual food and ordinary spiritual meat food. The monthly pure spiritual stones collected are between 200 and 300 spiritual stones. 5th Grandpa, I have a suggestion. In terms of spiritual food, our Lin family can no longer be limited to spiritual fish food and spiritual meat food. We must develop new spiritual food. In terms of meat quality, we need to study spiritual snake food, spiritual shrimp food, and spiritual turtle food. As long as it is a water-based spiritual beast that is not very aggressive, it can be kept in captivity. King Lian Lake is not short of spiritual energy at present. Lin Shiming spoke affirmatively. You know, the family still has the 4th level spiritual vein in the soul-seeking disc that has not been released, so the Lin family can fully develop the spiritual food industry. In addition, the Lin's restaurant of the family will also need to provide rooms with array formations in the future for the cultivators to rest and adjust. Okay, Patriarch. Lin Yazhang is also a business genius, and he understood it immediately. The reason why he didn't think about it before was because he was mainly engaged in caravans before and paid more attention to the Patriarch's alchemy and equipment refining. But at this moment, seeing that Lin Yi Tower was so popular, he immediately understood the huge profits from this area, and at the same time, he could arrange some array practice for the newly opened array hall of the family. You know, the auction held by the Lin family is also quite famous among the casual cultivators in Yunzhou due to the policy of reducing spirit stones. Also, the restaurant should also implement a VIP system. As long as the cultivator stays for 3 days at a time, he will be given a VIP card in the future, and all the spiritual meals in the restaurant will be reduced by 2 layers. Lin Shiming spoke again. At the same time, this is also his most critical point. He has implemented this at the auction, but he was afraid that Lin Yazhang would not understand it, so he proposed this idea after being stimulated by the revenue of Lin Yi Tower. As expected, Lin Yazhang was stunned for a moment. You should know that the profits of the Lin family restaurant are not outrageous. The captive breeding, capture, and killing of spirit fish all require the time of the family monks, and the profit is only 30% to 40%. Taking 20% is almost half of it. But he thought of the auction again. It was Lin Shiming who proposed the concept of reconsumption. When thinking about the popularity of Lin Yi Tower, he suddenly felt bright. This is a good idea. As long as the monks live in the market for a long time, they will spend a lot. The most important thing is that the market is popular. The popularity of the market will inevitably attract new casual cultivators. Now the Lin family already has 5 foundation building cultivators. Now Lin Shiji and Lin Hao can take turns to sit in Xing County, so there is no need to worry about chaos. What's more, the Lin family's VIP system at the auction has become famous in Yunzhou. Especially since Qingyuan City suffered a tide of spirit beasts, many cultivators are still in fear and dare not go deep into the Qingyuan mountains. Relatively speaking, The Xingxin market, which is a little outlying, is now thriving under the leadership of the Lin family. Master, wait until we get back and we'll implement it. Lin Yi nodded, his eyes full of possibilities, and he was a little distracted by the spiritual meal. He took a sip of wine and continued to implement the plan. Lin Shiming proposed the concept and direction. As for the specific reduction and discount, it was naturally decided by Lin Yi and others. One after finishing the spiritual meal, everyone returned to their rooms. At the same time, Lin Shiming also announced that they would be free to do whatever they wanted for 7 days, and after 7 days, they would all participate in the Kingxun auction together. Chapter 132 Golden Thunder Bamboo Spiritual Root. As soon as they entered the room, they each used the array plate to arrange their own array formations, and appeared at the door almost at the same time. Lin Haoxun and Lin Haoyi were not much different in age, and they were almost in healthy competition with each other. Now they were almost the seeds of the Lin family's foundation building. Obviously, both of them wanted to go to the market in Kingxun City. After seeing the stalls outside the city, they were naturally more interested in the stalls and shops in the city. The shops here are much better than those in Qinghai City. The third-level magic tools that are rarely seen in normal times are a bit sparse here. Lin Yi came to Kingxun City to buy elixirs for body refining, so he put down the array formation and couldn't wait to come out. However, the fifth elder Lin Yisheng was still thinking hard in the room. Let's go together, I've been here before. Lin Shiming took the initiative to speak. After that, he brought a group of people to the stall area. The stall area of Qinghai City is a huge square. The square was full of stalls, but compared to the previous one, in addition to the basic conditions, the stalls were set up by the late key training monks, and there were many more foundation building monks setting up stalls. Lin Shiming was also quite interested in this. The four of them decided to go shopping separately. Lin Shiming was a foundation building monk, and he definitely needed third-level treasures, while the other three only had second-level treasures. After determining the final meeting place, the four of them separated. Lin Shiming also went straight to the stalls of the foundation building monks. The stalls used by the monks, unless they were growth-oriented or sealed things, basically the monks could check the grade with their spiritual sense, so if he wanted to gain something, he could only go to the stalls of the foundation building monks. However, what disappointed him a little was that most of the items sold by these foundation building monks were second-level top-grade magic tools and second-level high-quality spiritual objects, and only a few third-level treasures were occasionally sold. Not to mention the monster luring grass, even ordinary third-level spiritual herbs and medicines were very rare. On the contrary, third-level monster materials were much more. The third-level monster materials in his storage bag were enough for him to become a third-level weapon refiner, so why did he need monster materials? Just when he wanted to leave, he suddenly received a system reminder: please search the stall carefully, you will harvest a section of golden thunder bamboo roots. Lin Shiming's originally disappointed heart suddenly became excited again. Golden thunder bamboo is one of the 10 great spiritual bamboos in the world of cultivation. The spiritual weapons made of golden thunder bamboo are the nemesis of demon cultivators and ghost cultivators. Moreover, because it is a wood bamboo that produces thunder, even a wood-attributed cultivator like him can perfectly stimulate the effect of thunder bamboo. Of course, the golden thunder bamboo is only famous for those over 500 years old. There is no specific level of golden thunder bamboo, which depends entirely on the age. Those under 100 years old are even only second-level materials. Only golden thunder bamboo over 100 years old will be third-level materials and can be used to refine third-level magic tools. Golden thunder bamboo over 500 years old is fourth-level material and can be used to refine fourth-level magic weapons. At that time, it was feared by almost all ghost cultivators and demon cultivators. Not only is the thunder bamboo powerful, it can also release the golden thunder to ward off evil. The golden thunder bamboo that is more than 1,000 years old is a fifth-level material. It is even said that the golden thunder bamboo that is 10,000 years old is a sixth-level material and can be refined into a sixth-level magic weapon. Although it is only the spiritual root of the golden thunder bamboo at the moment, for Lin Shiming, it is precisely because of the spiritual root of the golden thunder bamboo that he has a chance. Otherwise, the finished thunder bamboo has been refined into a magic weapon. After all, even if it is a second-level magic weapon, it is an additional means for cultivators to deal with evil cultivators or ghost cultivators. especially some cultivators who like to explore the caves of ancient cultivators. They often encounter various corpses, and the magic weapons refined by the Golden Thunder bamboo can bring them some help. Of course, on the other hand, the spiritual roots of the Golden Thunder bamboo are also quite difficult to transplant. But for him, he has the Purple Wood Heart Sutra. At the same time, at this moment, he also believes what his seventh uncle said. He should also have some kind of spiritual body, otherwise his increase in spiritual plants would not be so great, and the last time he revived the seeds of the awakening flower, he had asked his seventh uncle many times. Even in Kingsun sect, those would attribute a dual spiritual root cultivators who practiced the Purple Wood Heart Sutra did not have as good an effect on the increase of spiritual plants as he did. So the last time he asked Zixun Sanrin about the speed, he reduced his catalytic speed by more than 10 times. For him, cultivating the magical fruit tree is also cultivation, cultivating the Golden Thunder bamboo is also cultivation, and a Golden Thunder bamboo spiritual root will not only grow a Golden Thunder bamboo. If there is hope for cultivation, even 5th level materials can be cultivated, and even 6th level materials are possible. Lin Shiming recalled in his mind and looked for the stalls of the foundation building cultivators more carefully. During this period, he also found some treasures, but they were not the demon luring grass or the Golden Thunder bamboo roots. To him, they were not very meaningful. However, it seemed that just like the previous beast-raising pill recipe, the cultivators who set up the stall did not put out the Golden Thunder bamboo roots. This made him a little irritated. The last time he got the recipe for the beast-nurturing pill, at least there were some signs to look for. This time, every cultivator he saw seemed to have the Golden Thunder bamboo spiritual root. Unfortunately, he had no way to get the owner of the Golden Thunder bamboo spiritual root to give him the spiritual bamboo. No. Since I can't get it, I can set up a stall to attract the owner of the Golden Thunder bamboo to take the initiative to exchange with me. During this period, Lin Shiming saw many stall owners who saw that their treasures could not be sold, or that other people had treasures, so they closed their stalls and turned from sellers to buyers. Cultivators all have storage bags, so changing stalls is easy. Lin Shiming did what he said. At the entrance of the stall, he paid 100 spiritual stones and got a stall position in the foundation building area. This made Lin Shiming feel that collecting rent was profitable. A shop rent could actually collect 100 spiritual stones a day, and it was not allowed to be sublet. In this case, the stalls of key training monks probably need 30 or 40 spirit stones. No wonder there are so many stalls at the city gate, and most of the monks here are in the late stage of key training. After getting the credentials, Lin Shiming found a place with a lot of people. He took out the stall directly and took out a 3rd level middle grade magic sword and 2 3rd level low grade magic swords. These swords were obtained by him killing the foundation building monks of the Li family, but compared with a mother-child sword in the Xiangang sword formation, these 3 swords are not outstanding, so it is more suitable to sell them at this time. Of course, in his storage bag, there are also 3rd level spiritual armor and more extraordinary 3rd level middle grade magic swords, but these 2 belong to the disciples of the Spirit Beast sect and cannot be sold publicly, so they can only be sold on the black market. When Lin Shiming took out a flying sword, it instantly attracted everyone's attention. Just talking about the 3rd level middle grade magic sword, although it has no special abilities, you have to know that it is also a middle grade magic sword. If it is replaced with low grade spirit stones, it will cost tens of millions of spirit stones. This was undoubtedly the appearance of a treasure that could dominate the stalls in a market full of early stage 3rd order treasures. Many wandering foundation building monks gathered around, their eyes burning with enthusiasm, and some even had evil thoughts, constantly looking up and down at Lin Shiming. Most of the monks in the street stalls were in the early stages of foundation building, and Lin Shiming's spiritual awareness was almost the highest, and he could instantly see through those with bad intentions. Thanks to the monthly ticket for the green-eyed monks. Chapter 133 A Chance. Perhaps the 3rd level lower grade magic sword is not Lin Shiming's best, but the 3rd level middle grade magic sword undoubtedly stands out among the group of foundation building stalls. As the monks gathered together, more and more monks came over. Although they were not as crowded as mortals, they were not far apart. This is still very rare in the street stall area, let alone the foundation building stall area. In an instant, 3 or 4 people sent voice transmissions to Lin Shiming to make offers. This tacit voice transmission of offers was obviously a way to not give Lin Shiming the highest bid. However, What they didn't know was that Lin Shiming was not after spirit stones. Lin Shiming already had 400,000 spirit stones in his storage bag, and his family gave him 200,000 spirit stones. For him, a cultivator in the early stage of foundation building, it was enough to participate in the King Sun conference. The third-level middle-grade magic sword can only be exchanged for the same value of spirit bamboo or third-level demon luring grass. The same is true for the third-level lower-grade magic sword. Lin Shiming spoke directly, without giving everyone a chance to continue to send voice transmissions. Hearing this, most of the monks who didn't have treasures continued to check other stalls. A few monks stood aside and tried to talk about the price, but Lin Shiming shook his head. Now, except for those monks who obviously had bad intentions, all turned around and left. They couldn't offer a high price. After all, shopping at the stalls is for the price discount. If this goes against the original intention, it would be better to go to those big shops. Lin Shiming was not angry, but closed his eyes to rest. The monks who had just bought were all buyers, and he was waiting for the monks who were selling. After the spread, almost all the news had spread. Time passed quickly, and half an hour had passed in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, a monk with a gray robe and a small beard walked up to Lin Shiming. "This sword, will you sell it for 110,000 spirit stones?" "Fellow Taoist, please go back, I'll only exchange it for spirit bamboo or demon luring grass." Lin Shiming shook his head, looking disappointed, but at this moment, the monk with small beard sent a message to Lin Shiming. "Spirit bamboo, I do have one here, but your sword is a little bit inferior." After saying that, the monk with small beard looked painful, as if he was making a difficult decision. "Oh, then I wonder if you can show me the spirit bamboo?" Lin Shiming asked with a little interest. A sly smile flashed across the other party's mouth. "Of course, but there are too many people here, why not go to the trading house?" the monk with small beard suggested. Lin Shiming hesitated for a moment, and then said, "Of course, it's okay, but the price of the trading house has to be paid by you." Of course, his hesitation was not because of this, but because he saw that the monk with small beard wanted to blackmail him. The monk with small beard was a little embarrassed. "Fellow Taoist, my treasure is here, and I will only exchange it for the same value. If your treasure is much higher than mine, I will never try to get it. I know that I am not greedy for your treasure. Okay, I really need a handy spiritual weapon, so I will go to the trading house with you." After seeing that Lin Shiming was not easy to deceive, the little beard monk gave up the idea of blackmailing him. Lin Shiming closed the shop and followed the monk with a little beard to the trading house, which opened a trading house with a first level and third level spirit separation formation. "I have a piece of golden thunder bamboo. Fellow Taoist, you should have heard of the name of the top 10 spiritual bamboos," the monk with a little beard said cautiously, as if he was still afraid that someone would know that he had golden thunder bamboo. After saying that, he really took out a first-level golden bamboo joint, and golden arcs kept flashing on the bamboo joint. After taking a look, the little beard put away the golden thunder bamboo again. "How about it? It's enough to exchange for 3 of your magic swords, right?" "Fellow Taoist who, you are teasing me. Your golden thunder bamboo is clearly the spiritual root of golden thunder bamboo. It is not as tough as spiritual bamboo, and it can hardly be used for training weapons. Its real function is to cultivate golden thunder bamboo." Lin Shiming snorted coldly, his face angry. "Moreover, the spiritual root of your golden thunder bamboo has no green at all, lacks vitality, and is stained with spiritual soil. Fellow Taoist who should have planted it, but it didn't grow well." Lin Shiming said it in one sentence, but what made him speechless was that fellow Taoist who didn't show any signs of blushing. After being exposed, he just said lightly, "Ah, then I was cheated. I also bought it from someone else for 30,000 spiritual stones." Lin Shiming naturally didn't believe what Littlebeard said. I'm afraid Littlebeard also asked the shop and offered a high price, but in the end found that the shop didn't plan to restore vitality. Otherwise, selling the spiritual roots of this golden thunder bamboo to the King Sun sect would be a huge profit. After all, other sects and families may not be able to survive for so long, but for a sect like the King Sun sect with a giant and cultivator, it is still easy to turn it into a magic weapon after 1,000 years. Lin Shiming was a little impressed that this little mustache was still making up lies until now. Since fellow Taoist has also been deceived, I feel quite sympathetic. How about this? Lin will offer a third-grade inferior sword in exchange. Lin Shiming did not expose it, but chose to continue the exchange. After all, he was also worried that the little mustache cultivator would eventually sell it to the sect. With his virtue, he was definitely comparing prices. After Lin Shiming finished speaking, he looked at him with a half-smile, which made the little mustache cultivator a little scared. "Thank you, Brother Lin." The little mustache cultivator still exchanged it. At this moment, his mind was full of joy. You know, those big shops only offer a maximum of 3,000 spiritual stones. Even the Duabao Tower directly under the Kingsuan sect is the same. After all, it was just a half-dead bamboo root. Lin Shiming was right that he had planted it before, but he was not the only one who had planted it before. Many third-level spiritual plant masters had planted it before, and there was no reaction at all. He was also very happy that he could make a move at this moment. Fellow Taoist Lin is a cultivator of wood attribute, right? Littlebeard asked tentatively after the transaction. Yes, what instructions does fellow Taoist who have? Lin Shiming was speechless for a while when he saw the other party's eyes that looked like he was being taken advantage of. This little bearded man actually treated him as a fat sheep at this time. If fellow Taoist Lin is a cultivator of wood attribute, it's just right. You can find me after the Kingsuan conference. Who'll give you an opportunity then? The monk with a little beard said beside Lin Shiming. After that, he handed Lin Shiming a signal jade slip of a sound transmission note. It was obvious that he wanted Lin Shiming to transmit the sound through the signal jade slip. Lin Shiming also said thank you, and the two parted ways. Looking at the back of the little bearded man, his eyes narrowed slightly, and he looked at him for a long time. After putting Yu Jiandan alone into a storage bag, he also walked out of the trading house. After getting the Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root, Lin Shiming was now anxious to go back and check the vitality of the Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root, in case he couldn't cultivate it by then, which would be a big mistake. The Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root that couldn't be cultivated was worth at most 1,000 spirit stones. And a third-level inferior magic sword could be sold for at least 30 or 40,000 spirit stones. If the material was a little better, it could be sold for 60 or 70,000 spirit stones. Chapter 134 Foundation Building Meeting. In front of Duabao Building, Lin Shiyi, Lin Haowei, and Lin Haoxun were a little anxious at the moment. They had already checked for more than an hour before the expected time. It stands to reason that there are fewer stalls for foundation building cultivators, so they should be faster. Fortunately, the next moment, Lin Shiming appeared in front of everyone. I was delayed for a while and kept Uncle 13, Uncle 15, and Brother 2 waiting for a long time. Lin Shiming clasped his fists and apologized. What are you talking about, Patriarch? Lin Haoxun also spoke immediately. Let's go and visit Duabao Building. This is directly under the Kingsuan sect and is the most representative among many shops. Lin Shiming introduced, and then led everyone into the first floor of Duabao Building. Duabao Building still uses the model of female cultivators' counters. As soon as Lin Shiming and others entered the door, they were all smiling. When Lin Shiming returned to his old place, what touched him more was not these female cultivators, but the second floor of Duabao Building. The second floor has third-level treasures, and the third floor has fourth-level treasures. It is said that Duabao Building also has a fourth floor, but it is unknown whether there are fifth-level treasures. But for him, the second floor was a place he was curious about more than 10 years ago, but now he can step into it at will. Lin Hao stopped for them on the first floor, and Lin Shiming went up to the second floor alone. When they arrived at the second floor, it was not like the first floor, with 4 counters. What came into view was a larger counter. In front of the counter, a female cultivator who had established her foundation was receiving several other cultivators who had established their foundation. Lin Shiming was not in a hurry. He looked around. The space on the second floor had obviously become smaller. Various spiritual weapons were placed on the shelves, but at a glance, they were all third-level low-grade spiritual objects, and third-level middle-grade ones were rarely displayed. The cultivator in front of him finished his selection and did not make a deal, so Lin Shiming walked up. The beautiful female cultivator gave Lin Shiming a jade slip. Dao, you can take a look. This is the treasure record of our Duabao Tower. Lin Shiming only felt a little novel, and then he also immersed his consciousness into the jade slip, but saw a large number of treasures listed, and each treasure listed the characteristics, disadvantages, and price. It was also supplemented with pictures and spiritual patterns. There are various types of magic talismans, magic pills, array plates, magic tools, and even exercises. No wonder the Duabao building is so big. However, after a round, he did not see any third-grade top-grade spiritual objects. Seeing Lin Shiming looking over, the sweet female cultivator smiled and said, "Dao, if you want to buy third-grade top-grade treasures, you need to verify your capital." After hearing this, Lin Shiming nodded and informed him, and did not continue to verify his capital, but looked at the jade slip. In the jade slip, he first searched for thunder attribute exercises. This was for the family Lin Shili. Just a glance, he found that even the yellow grade top grade thunder attribute exercises cost 100,000 spirit stones, which was much more expensive than ordinary 5-element attribute exercises. As for the black grade ones, he did not see them at all. Suddenly, he stopped and looked at the spiritual objects. As expected, there was no demon luring grass either. Although he had been prepared, he was still a little disappointed. Finally, he landed on the treasure, and his eyes lit up, and he saw a set of snow-white silver needles fall into his eyes. The silver needle is called the Kangbi blood-breaking needle. It is made from the sting of the tail of the Kangbi. It is a third-level medium-grade magic weapon, a set of 7 needles, and a secret treasure for surprise attacks. Not only can it be used for sneak attacks, but it can also kill people with one blow. However, the price of the spirit stone made Lin Shiming frown, 320,000 spirit stones. However, thinking that there might be a war in the next 5 years, Lin Shiming finally gritted his teeth and bought it. Then he spent another 50,000 spirit stones to buy 3 spirit talismans, and then walked down from the second floor of Duabao building. Dao, there will be a foundation building exchange meeting 2 days before the auction. If you have nothing to do, you can participate. It's all about bartering. I saw that you frowned a few times, so you should be in urgent need of some spiritual objects. The beautiful female cultivator took out another token and handed it to Lin Shiming. On the token, there was only a single word treasure. Okay, thank you fairy. If I don't have anything important, I will definitely go. Lin Shiming nodded, and walked downstairs without looking back. Lin Shi, Lin Haowei and Lin Haoxun were still looking at treasures. Lin Haoxun was in the spiritual pill area, constantly looking at various spiritual pills, and constantly verifying the gap between his own alchemy skills and those behind the Duabao building. Lin Haowei had already bought it, and then after asking, Lin Haowei spent 60,000 spiritual stones to buy 10 jars of second-level top-grade spiritual wine. Lin Haoxun finally bought some rare alchemy materials, while Lin Shi bought body refining pills for physical cultivation. After the group finished shopping, they also returned to Liu building and each offered sacrifices to treasures. Lin Shiming took out the spiritual roots of the Golden Thunder bamboo. He wanted to judge whether the spiritual roots of the Golden Thunder bamboo could be planted alive. Although this was a system prompt, the test still prevailed. He took out the jade box containing the Golden Thunder bamboo spiritual roots and opened it. He saw countless golden arcs jumping in the jade box. Thunder visions were heard from time to time, and even on the spiritual nodes, golden thunder patterns were faintly flashing. Lin Shiming took out the spiritual soil as usual, but this was not an ordinary second-level spiritual soil, but a third-level spiritual soil for planting small magical trees. He put the bamboo joints into the spiritual soil, then poured in the third-level spiritual water and the spiritual liquid, and finally injected the true essence of the Purple Wood Heart Sutra. In this way, for 3 consecutive days, Lin Shiming stayed in the cave, motionless, until a certain moment, Lin Shiming suddenly found a hint of green on the Golden Thunder bamboo spiritual joints. At that moment, he seemed to hear the sound of spring thunder, and a vitality came out of the spiritual soil. Sure enough, Lin Shiming was extremely happy, and he seemed to be more certain that he seemed to have a hidden spiritual body, but the spiritual body needed to be activated until the breakthrough of the Purple Mansion. However, he was only in the early stage of foundation building now, and he didn't know when he would break through to the middle stage of foundation building. Lin Shiming put away the Golden Thunder bamboo and did not intend to continue cultivating it. He took out the green bee blood-breaking needle and began to practice. And that night, he suddenly found that a token suddenly flashed with spiritual light. When he opened it, he saw that it was the token given by the female foundation building master in Duabao Tower. At this time, a line of words had appeared on the token. Number 16, Ziyang Street, 2nd floor. In Lin Shiming's memory, this location was behind Duabao Tower. After a brief thought, Lin Shiming used the sound transmission talisman to inform Lin Yi's Hang and Lin Haoxuan, and decided to attend at once. Not to mention that this was his first foundation building conference. You have to know that the purpose of his coming to Qinghai City was just to lure the monster grass and then cultivate the spirit-devouring ants. As for the adult ants, they were extremely irritable and he could not control them. Even if he made a spirit contract, this kind of monster ant would explode. Lin Shiming came to the back of Duobiao Tower according to the location. At this time, there was a small courtyard. At the gate of the courtyard, 2 late-stage key training cultivators were guarding the gate. "Excuse me, are you here to participate in the foundation building meeting?" the 2 cultivators asked. "Yes." Lin Shiming nodded, took out the token and handed it to the other party. Then, to his surprise, he saw the 2 cultivators take out a set of black veils from the storage bag. "Senior, this is a spirit-isolating veil, which can block the spiritual awareness of the great perfection of the foundation building cultivators. It can be rented for 100 spirit stones." Seeing this, Lin Shiming pondered for a moment, not for the spirit stones, but for this foundation building meeting. If the spirit-isolating veil is used, I'm afraid there will be a lot of stolen goods that cannot be seen. Chapter 135, Mountain Ape Physical Training. Lin Shiming paid the spirit stones and walked along the bluestone corridor to a luxurious hall. The light in the hall was not very good, with only a few moonstones used as lamps. In front of the hall, there were 3 vertical rows of red Nanmu chairs. At this moment, many monks were already sitting on the chairs, but surprisingly, the back row was full. There were a few monks in the front row who did not wear spirit-isolating veils, and in the middle, there were only a few people. He found a seat in the middle back and sat down quietly. After looking around, there was no point in continuing to look around. Most people were wearing spirit-isolating veils, so even if you looked, you couldn't tell anything. When Lin Shiming closed his eyes to rest, many more people came in, almost all of them wearing spirit-isolating veils. When the entire hall, with hundreds of Nanmu chairs, was almost full, a square-faced monk in a green robe appeared in front of the hall. The green-robed monk looked around, then moistened his throat and said, "Almost everyone has arrived. As the initiator of the foundation building meeting, I would like to introduce myself first. Xiao Chen is also the steward of Duobiao Tower, so fellow practitioners can trade with confidence. In this hall, I guarantee that no one will have any evil thoughts." Xiao Chen spoke very seriously and used low-level spells, so even if everyone was sitting at the back, it was as if Xiao Chen was speaking in their ears. This foundation building meeting is in the form of barter, so I will start with a few suggestions. As he spoke, Xiao Chen took out 3 treasures, a pair of purple gold glazed boots, a piece of cold iron gem, and a monster egg. This purple gold glazed boots is a 3rd-grade top-grade magic weapon. After wearing it, it has a top-grade light body technique. When ordinary mid-stage foundation building cultivators wear it, their speed is definitely not slower than that of late-stage foundation building cultivators or even ordinary foundation building great perfection cultivators. This cold iron gem is a 4th-grade treasure material, which can be used as the main material of a 4th-grade magic weapon. As for the last monster egg, it is the offspring of the 4th-grade monster Purple Wind Eagle. It was born as a 2nd-grade late-stage monster, and it is very likely to become a 4th-grade monster when it grows up. These 3 treasures can only be exchanged for treasures that can increase the probability of breaking through the Purple Mansion. If there is Purple Mansion Jade Liquid, all 3 can be taken. Xiao Chen started to look around after he finished speaking. His display also made all the cultivators explode. What he threw out was not a brick, but a gold brick. All the cultivators had fiery eyes, and Lin Shiming was no exception. The cold iron gem was okay, a 4th-grade treasure material that had to wait until the Purple Mansion to be used, but the purple gold glazed boots and the 4th-grade monster egg could both be used. However, although there was a lot of discussion in the hall, no one came on stage. Obviously, regardless of whether everyone had it or not, it was rare for someone to take out this kind of precious medicine that could break through the Purple Mansion. Xiao Chen's eyes were obviously a little disappointed, but he did not put away all the treasures. Instead, he put down the purple gold glazed boots again and priced it at 1 million spirit stones in exchange for treasures of equal value, depending on the improvement of cultivation. Many cultivators came forward and asked about the price. Finally, a burly cultivator completed the transaction. After Xiao Chen stepped down, other cultivators came on stage one by one. The treasures they took out were also varied, and there were many that Lin Shiming did not recognize. Most of them were some relatively special and rare materials and spiritual medicines. Among them were the main materials of the foundation building pill, huangxin grass, and shineling fruit. During this period, Lin Shiming also tried to transmit his voice, but it was obvious that either Lin Shiming looked down on it, or the other party looked down on his materials. Finally, it was his turn. He walked forward and took out 10 pieces of monster materials. The most outstanding among them were the wings and a pair of sickle feet of the 6-winged monster mantis. These two materials, if exchanged for a better weapon refiner, could be made into a third-grade upper-grade magic weapon, and the characteristics of the magic weapon would definitely not be weak. The 6-winged mantis is not an unknown monster. Exchange these materials for the monster luring grass, or information about the monster luring grass. After Lin Shiming finished speaking, he began to look around, expecting someone to come with a monster luring grass to exchange. But obviously no one had it, and no one could even provide information. Lin Shiming sighed and gave up on continuing to exchange for the monster luring grass, and instead exchanged for spiritual objects of equal value. At this time, many people began to send messages to Lin Shiming, and almost all of them were cultivators who wanted to exchange for the blue wings and feet of the 6-winged mantis. Among them, there were exchanges for magic weapons, spiritual talismans, and even other monster corpses. But Lin Shiming was not very satisfied with these, and the last message caught Lin Shiming's attention. Dao, I have a lower grade Zhuan grade body refining technique. How about exchanging it for all the monster materials? Lin Shiming never expected that someone would exchange for a technique, and he immediately agreed. You should know that the best body refining technique of their Lin family is the upper grade of the yellow rank, which can barely be cultivated to the foundation building stage. The elder Lin Yuking and the second brother Lin Yi both practiced that technique. Now that there is a lower grade of the mysterious rank body refining technique, he is naturally very satisfied, and now that he has established his foundation, he has a lifespan of 250 years. He has enough time to practice the body refining technique at the same time, and in order to deal with the possible invasion of the demon sect, the body refining technique can also have the greatest benefit. Soon, a slightly fat monk came from the back, with a spirit veil blocking his face, so that he could not see his true appearance. After the latter came up, he gently picked up the spirit wings and the feet of the 6-winged demon mantis, and looked at it carefully. After finding that there was almost no damage, he was also amazed and overjoyed. The difficulty of the 6-winged demon mantis is well known in the demon insect list. Generally, if you can kill it, you have to use all means, and it is possible that the 6 wings or sickle feet will be destroyed. After the inspection, the fat monk gave Lin Shiming another jade slip. In the jade slip, there was a technique called Mountain Ape Body Refining Technique. After Lin Shiming used his spiritual sense to make a simple investigation, he found that this was a body refining technique borrowed from the mountain ape, and it was indeed a low-grade technique of the Zhuan level, so the deal was concluded. Both the buyer and the seller were very happy. The former's technique was dead, and it could be copied anyway, and the latter was not short of this little spiritual beast material at the moment, so he already had a lot of treasures. Whether it was the heavenly demon bag, the flame flag, the Xiangang sword formation, the purple wood sword formation, the mother-child sword, the Kui wood shield, and the Kangfang blood-breaking needle. Now that he had this mountain ape body refining technique, even if he couldn't buy the foundation establishment pill, it would be worth the trip. After exchanging the treasures, Lin Shiming continued to sit on the Nanmu chair, quietly watching others exchange treasures. At this time, he wished he could exchange them all, but unfortunately, with the 400,000 he thought he was rich in before, he might lose a few spiritual objects here. After the trade fair, Lin Shiming felt that his knowledge had increased by 3 points, and he also understood the generosity of the various foundation-building cultivators. Obviously, the cultivators of King Zhao and King Xuan sect were far from being comparable to the cultivators of the Jin family or even the Li family. As soon as the trade fair ended, Lin Shiming stood up and left. However, what he didn't expect was that Xiao Chen sent him a message at this time. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136, Message. Behind the foundation building meeting hall, there is a row of gorgeous attics. Lin Shiming was pacing in a room at the moment. As soon as the foundation building meeting was over, his idea was to leave. After all, he didn't have any treasures to exchange. Even the mother-child sword might only cost hundreds of thousands of spirit stones. He would not take action for other magic weapons. Xiao Chen, as a cultivator who had reached the great perfection of foundation building, came to him, and he didn't want to participate. There was a huge gap in cultivation. No matter what he did, it was undoubtedly courting disaster. But the latter talked about the demon luring grass and called out his name at the critical moment, so he stayed. This also made him a little alert. In the future, at such trade fairs, he should prepare the spirit isolating veil in advance. Obviously, the spirit isolating veil provided by Duobiao Tower can be seen through by themselves. After Lin Shiming waited in the room for more than half an hour, Xiao Chen came in. As soon as he came in, the latter bowed and apologized. I have kept you waiting for a long time. Xiao is here to apologize to you. Senior Xiao, you are serious. Lin Shiming also bowed and replied in a lukewarm tone. The latter was not surprised at all and explained slowly, don't worry, my friend, the reason why I left you here is that I want to work with your elder King Lian Swordmaster to seek an opportunity. As expected, there will definitely be a demon luring grass there. After Xiao Chen said this, Lin Shiming was relieved. Since he was looking for his seventh uncle, he was just a messenger at the moment. At that time, even if the seventh uncle was unwilling, he would refuse. Although Duobiao Lao had a huge background, it could not force anyone to do anything. After all, their Lin family was far away in Yunzhou. As for the demon luring grass, he was still somewhat rational. If he could take it, he would take it. If he didn't take it, he would have to give up the devouring spirit and... My friend, just give this jade slip to Uncle Ling. He will make the decision when the time comes. Xiao Chen took out a jade slip and handed it to Lin Shiming. Then he took out a token and handed it to Lin Shiming. My friend Shiming, this is the Duobiao token of Duobiao Tower. With the token, you can enjoy a 10% discount on the first and second floors of Duobiao Tower in the future. Thank you, Senior Xiao. Shiming will convey it to you. Lin Shiming also thanked him repeatedly. After receiving the token, he said goodbye and left. After leaving Duobiao Tower, Lin Shiming also returned to Laiyu Tower and entered the room. He then recalled all the processes of the day and finally made a big summary. Fortunately, Xiao Chen seemed to have no ill intentions and gave him a Duobiao token. Then Lin Shiming took out a mountain ape body refining technique and began to try to practice it. If it were an ordinary cultivator, he would be extremely cautious about the skills traded at the trade fair. He might have to let the elders identify it before practicing. But for him, as long as he practiced, there would be system prompts. Even if a giant and cultivator came, it might not be as accurate as the system prompts. In addition to special martial arts skills, the mountain ape body refining technique also comes with a set of special breathing methods and a set of body quenching pill recipes. For the moment, he couldn't detect anything about the body quenching pill recipes and martial arts skills, but as for the breathing method, once he practiced it, he only heard the system prompts, and then there was an improvement to his breathing method. This also made him sweat without saying a word. Sure enough, in the world of cultivation, if you think you have taken advantage, you must be very careful, otherwise you don't know when you will capsize in the gutter. After practicing for more than half an hour, Lin Shiming stopped. Although Laiyu Tower is safe, he really doesn't dare to practice with all his heart at this moment. Instead, he meditated quietly and read the family's introductory manual for refining. After entering the foundation building, he also made up his mind to take a cultivation technique. At this moment, there are a large number of monster materials in gold, iron and stone veins, so the first choice is to become a real third-level refiner. 3 days later, Lin Shiming's door opened and he walked out. At this moment, Lin Haowei, Lin Shiai and others were already waiting outside the door. 5th grandfather, 13th uncle, 15th uncle, 2nd brother, let's go. Several people walked towards the auction hall, but found that almost all the cultivators in Kingsuan City were gathering for the auction. The auction held by the 3 major sects also made the cultivators feel that their horizons were broadened. They were afraid that they would be late and there would be no seats. Along the way, Lin Shiming and others also saw many disciples of the Spirit Beast sect wearing storage bracelets, and disciples of the Spirit Talisman sect wearing talisman robes. The price to enter the auction was the same as 10 years ago. Lin Yi paid enough spirit stones and came to the high platform compartment area of the foundation building family at the auction. This auction was extremely popular. When the Lin family and others sat down, they saw that the ordinary area in front was full, and the adjacent foundation building cultivator compartment area was also crowded. The position of the Wang family was also replaced by a new family. Jin Bashan was also in the area where the Jin family was. When he looked over, the other party smiled back at him. Even the box of the Zifu family on the second floor was full. The atmosphere of the auction was unprecedentedly high. At this time, the auction hall was still full of people entering. In the end, it was the Kingsuan auction that cancelled the entry of Kigan cultivators, otherwise there might not be enough space at the back. At this time, a middle-aged cultivator walked onto the stage, followed by several beautiful female cultivators. This middle-aged cultivator was very familiar to him. He was the auctioneer from more than 10 years ago, He Zhuan, who was also a cultivator who had reached the great perfection of foundation building. Fellow Daoists, I am Hien, the host and deacon of this auction. I would like to thank all the senior Daoists for coming here. At the same time, the three sects jointly provided treasures and foundation building pills for this auction, a total of 150 pills, 90 pills for the Zifu family, and 60 pills for the Kigan foundation building auction. The starting price of the foundation building pill has also been halved this time, so fellow Daoists can bid with confidence. When He Zhuan said that the starting price was halved, the entire auction hall suddenly burst into continuous applause. In particular, there were a full 150 foundation building pills this time, which was 3 times more than the one Lin Yi participated in more than 10 years ago. And you have to know that 2 years ago, Kingsuan sect just held the Kingsuan conference. Okay, let's not waste any more time, let's talk about the first auction item, a third-level barrier-breaking pill. The starting price is 80,000 spirit stones. Each bid is not less than 500. When the third-level barrier-breaking pill came out, Lin Yi was also stunned. You have to know that the first auction item he participated in before was only a second-level top-grade magic weapon. This time it was a third-level low-grade barrier-breaking pill. You have to know that this is a pill that can improve the bottleneck of the cultivator's initial foundation building. It is completely appropriate to put it as a small finale. But at this moment, it is the first auction item. I am afraid that this time, there will be surprisingly few second-level treasures. Those key training casual cultivators or key training cultivators can only compete for the foundation building pill. 100,000. 100,000. 220,000. In the end, the price directly reached 230,000, more than doubling. Lin Yi was a little tempted in the middle, but after seeing the price, he had to give up with a wry smile. Chapter 137 The opportunity has arrived. The first auction item was sold for 230,000 low-grade spirit stones, which completely set the entire auction venue on fire. Everyone was extremely excited, and Lin Yi was a little sad that his family had not received enough spirit stones. You have to know that the first auction item he participated in more than 10 years ago was only sold for 9,000 spirit stones, but now it has been more than 20 times. Sure enough, the next moment, He Zhuan took out a talisman. This talisman was only a second-level top-grade one, but the name of the talisman was extremely loud. The substitute talisman could withstand a fatal attack and move the position 200 meters away. Although it was only 100 meters, it was definitely a precious life-saving artifact for a second-level key training cultivator. Even many foundation-building cultivators began to be tempted. Although this talisman was only second-level, its effect of moving the position 200 meters away could be used by any cultivator. Second-level substitute talisman, starting price 10,000 spirit stones, each bid must not be less than 500 spirit stones. He Zhuan announced the auction again. 15,000. 20,000. 30,000. All of the key training and foundation building cultivators in front of them started bidding continuously. They argued until their faces turned red, wishing they could just bid the highest price. Lin Yi didn't make a move. After buying the Kangfen blood-breaking needle, his spirit stones were only a few 100,000. Counting the spirit stones used in the family auction of the foundation building pill, it was only 300,000. Next to him, Lin Yi, Lin Haoxun and Lin Yi were also very surprised. This was the first time they participated in such an auction, which was worth hundreds of thousands of items at the beginning. You know, Even this second auction item was considered to be the finale of the finale in Xing County. Of course, I'm afraid that their Lin family would not take it out, and keeping it for their own use could play a more critical role. Only the Ling Fu sect, a large sect of talisman training, could easily take it out. The auction was still going on. In addition to the spirit talismans, a large number of spirit beast cubs and monster eggs were auctioned, which was unique in previous auctions. The atmosphere in the entire auction hall was getting higher and higher. Finally, there were even third-level high-quality magic tools and talismans, and the entire auction hall was extremely hot. After auctioning 2 third-level late-stage treasures, it was finally time for the foundation building pills that the key training cultivators were most concerned about. First, the foundation building families and key training cultivators auctioned off 60 foundation building pills in total, but this time 2 foundation building pills were auctioned together. That is, although the starting price was halved, in fact, the starting price was the same as before. This time, 2 foundation building pills will be auctioned. The starting price is 50,000, and each increase in price must not be less than 1,000 spirit stones. Start bidding. As Yijuan spoke, the entire auction hall was completely boiling. The starting price was halved, and there were 60 pills, which means there were 30 chances. This was something that people would never dare to think about in the past King Sun conference. 60,000. 70,000. 120,000. This time, the bid was made by Lin Yi. For the first time, he directly increased the price by 50,000. This also made many key training and foundation building cultivators look at Lin Yi. Some of them had been here for more than a decade and were also surprised by the terrifying breakthrough of Lin Yi's cultivation. They were full of emotion, but the speed of bidding did not slow down at all. Especially the family cultivators from King Zhao, Xuzhou and Jianzhou. After participating in the auction this time, they would rush to the border between Chu and Zhao. If they could auction one more foundation building pill at this moment, they could leave one more hope for their family. 180,000 spirit stones. With the last 180,000 spirit stones, the auction of the first batch of foundation building pills was finally won by a family in King Zhao and ended. Lin Yi did not start the auction. The prices of the first and last batches would be very high. This time, there were enough foundation building pills, so he naturally had to bid as cheaply as possible, so that he could bid a little more at that time. Finally, Lin Yi made a bid in the 5th batch, spending 150,000 spirit stones to bid for 2 foundation building pills. There were still more than 100,000 spirit stones left, but he did not continue to bid. This time, the 7th uncle was not here, and buying more might directly cause problems. After all, there will always be independent cultivators who take risks, especially since the price of foundation building pills has already exceeded that of ordinary 3rd-grade inferior magic tools. Lin Yi did not participate in the final auction of magic tools, and left decisively. Just like his father did not leave early, but was held back by the Li family. If it were not for Xian, his father would not have been able to return to Fangmu Mountain alive. Lin Yi took Lin Yi and others and left the auction directly. However, at this moment, he felt that the jade talisman in his storage bag suddenly glowed. Dao, the opportunity has arrived, at the west gate of the city. The jade talisman was the little bearded monk who sold a golden thunder bamboo spirit root before. The latter chose a low-grade magic tool and left. At that time, he also asked him if he was a wood-attributed cultivator and wanted to give him an opportunity. He really didn't expect that this little bearded monk really had an opportunity to give. Lin Yi took a look and walked straight to the east gate. The jade talisman was also sealed by him using the jade box. At this time, there was a small pavilion at the entrance of the west gate. The small bearded monk walked into the pavilion. The next moment, strangely, 3 or 4 monks suddenly appeared in the pavilion. 2 of them were foundation building monks, and 1 was a young monk in the late stage of key training. The leader was an old man in a blue robe, who couldn't help but look at the monk with his small beard. "How is it? Have you taken the bait? I have sent a message. If nothing goes wrong, I will come later." The monk with his small beard nodded affirmatively. Several people were immediately delighted. A cultivator in the early stage of foundation building, and a cultivator from a remote place like Yunzhao. The most important thing is that he also has a 3rd-level middle-grade magic weapon and a 3rd-level low-grade magic weapon. This is still openly exchanged. Who knows how many good things are in the storage bag? Not to mention participating in the Kingston auction, I am afraid there may be foundation building pills. When they thought of this time point, several people chuckled again. They didn't know how many young foundation building monks they had killed. They were richer than the average old generation of monks, and they gained a lot every time. The Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root was obtained from a young cultivator in the early stage of foundation building. Kill him quickly, we have to wait for the yellow rank secret realm to open. Next to the old man with blue bubbles, a middle-aged cultivator with big ears also spoke impatiently. However, the next moment, the face of the cultivator with small beard suddenly changed. Lost contact. What do you do for a living? The old man in blue robe was furious. Calm down, village chief, I have another way. The old man with small beard begged for mercy and smiled. Then he took out a magic weapon like a spirit disc, and after a while, the spirit disc lit up with a spiritual light. It was obviously a message to someone. Soon, the cultivator with small beard also spoke happily. Village chief, the fat sheep went through the east city gate. Why don't you chase it? The old man in blue robe also waved his hand, and the next moment, a third-level spirit boat appeared. The four people got on the boat and chased towards the east city gate. Chapter 138 Begging for Mercy? At the east gate, Lin Yi was flying in the sky with a spirit boat. Since it was still the first batch of foundation building pills, no one followed him at this time. He stood at the front of the spirit boat, just like the seventh uncle before. He let the wind blow and his long hair fly behind him. His spiritual sense was far away. At this moment, he could see everything that happened on the land. But the next moment, a spirit boat was seen flying at a very fast speed in the distance. Lin Yi's eyes suddenly turned cold, and his whole body was shining. He also tried his best to fly the spirit boat. Fifth grandfather, get ready, there is danger. Lin Yi, Lin Yi and others were also shocked when they heard this. They quickly took out their magic tools and stood on the deck of the spirit boat, ready to attack at any time. Dao, why are you leaving so quickly? We have an opportunity to share with you. Seeing Lin Yi speeding up, the monk with a small beard couldn't help but speak. His appearance and tone were quite friendly. If an outsider saw it, he would really think that they were old acquaintances. But Lin Yi is not a new boy. The speed of the spirit boat is faster. However, what makes Lin Yi a little worried is that his spirit boat is only a third-level medium-grade spirit boat, while the opponent's spirit boat is actually a third-level high-grade spirit boat. His speed is not as fast as the opponent. What's more terrible is that there must be mid-stage foundation building cultivators, and even late-stage foundation building cultivators on the third-level high-grade spirit boat. This is also what Lin Yi is very worried about. It's okay for a mid-stage foundation building cultivator, he can still resist one or two, but if it is a late-stage foundation building cultivator, that kind of existence is an old man of unknown age. Many means, strong mana, and insidious. Lin Yi kept using his spiritual sense to detect, but the opponent's spirit boats obviously had formations, and he couldn't detect the cultivation level of the cultivators on the opponent's spirit boats. Prepare to find a place for a decisive battle, Lin Yi said, and then threw another storage bag to Lin Yi. While not knowing what the opponent's cultivation level is, he can only prepare for the worst. He still couldn't escape, so he could only choose to fight on the ground. With his purple gold vine and golden winged mantis, he still had the strength to fight. There was a foundation building pill in the storage bag. If he couldn't win, he could only rely on Lin Yi's to take the foundation building pill and the earth-escaping talisman to escape. Lin Yi chose a hill and plunged into it. The blue-robed old man behind him was also happy. Although he would catch up sooner or later, it would not only waste time to chase him, but it would also be easy to change. After Lin Yi landed, he took out another set of array plates, which was the third level 3 talents mysterious spirit array. The 3 talents mysterious spirit array is a third level initial array. With the cultivation of Lin Yi, Lin Yi, and Lin Haoxun at the 9th level of key training, they can barely use it. He didn't ask the 3 of them to control the array to kill the enemy. As long as they could contain the enemy for a while, they could also create some opportunities. As soon as the 3 talents mysterious spirit array was set up, the 4 blue-robed old men rushed to the front. First, a huge Zuanling mountain gathered and enlarged in the air, turning into one mountain hundreds of feet in size, and suddenly suppressed it. The weight of this Zuanling mountain is extremely terrifying, and it has a surprising special effect on the battle formation. Once it is pressed down, I am afraid that the 3-talent Zuanling formation will be smashed to pieces before it can show its power. Dang dang dang. However, the next moment, Lin Shiming's 9 formation swords flew out suddenly, forming a circular sword formation, blocking the Zuanling mountain abruptly. At the same time, the other 2 foundation-building monks, one drove his spirit sword to follow, and the old man in the blue robe at the back drove his spirit drum and started to beat it fiercely. As soon as the drum sounded, a strange ripple came, like ripples on the lake. Lin Shiming only felt his head suddenly dizzy. His mental power was instantly shattered. The Zimu Zuanshan sword formation was scattered and smashed down by the Zuanling mountain, and Lin Haowei and others directly cracked the 3-talent Zuanling formation, and the 3 of them vomited blood at the same time. Fortunately, at the last moment, Lin Shiming woke up and released the purple gold vine directly. He tied up all 4 people, including himself, and then pulled them back hundreds of meters away. At their original location, Zuanling Mountain smashed out a huge pit more than 10 meters deep. And this was not over yet, the 3 of them attacked again. Lin Shiming only discovered the cultivation of the 4 people at this moment. The blue-robed old man and the big-eared middle-aged monk were both in the middle stage of foundation building. The old man was at the peak of the middle stage of foundation building, and was not far from breaking through the late stage of foundation building. The little beard was the same as he had checked before, and was in the early stage of foundation building. Seeing this, he was relieved that there was no late stage of foundation building. But the situation was not optimistic. The drum of the blue-robed old man was actually directly attacking the mental power. The 3 of them had obviously cooperated for a long time. The middle-aged monk controlled Zuanling Mountain and kept smashing at everyone. During this period, he also shot out 3 third-level low-grade flying swords, and the blue-robed old man, in addition to the spirit drum, took out a third-level middle-grade flying sword. Even the monk with a little beard had 2 third-level middle-grade flying swords. The 3 attacked Lin Shiming almost at the same time. Get up! Lin Shiming urged the purple gold vine that had been prepared long ago to come out again, and suddenly the sky was full of purple vines. They surrounded the 3 people. The 3 retreated instantly, and controlled the flying sword to continuously cut the purple vines. In an instant, countless vines flew down, like a vine rain. As soon as the vines were scattered, Zuanling Mountain smashed towards Lin Shiming again, and then the old man in blue robe even beat the spirit drum. Lock your consciousness and close your hearing. Lin Shiming reminded him hurriedly. The other 3 also hurriedly did it, but this also made Lin Shiming lose control of the vines for a moment, and several people had to keep retreating. This also fell into the hands of the 3 old men in blue robes. Sooner or later, the spirit sword in Zuanling Mountain will cut Lin Shiming. Especially Zuanling Mountain, as long as it falls, there is no way to survive. However, the next moment, a burst of golden light emerged, which was extremely dazzling. The 3 people were also stunned at this moment. They did not have such a golden weapon, but the next moment, they only saw a burst of golden light falling. Then the head of the middle-aged monk flew high, and Zuanling Mountain also lost control and fell down. The few people only saw the appearance of the golden-winged mantis at this moment, and they were also extremely shocked. The blue-robed old man said repeatedly, "Dao I am as understood, I just want to explore the secret realm with you." The old man smiled repeatedly, and the monk with a small beard also reacted quickly, knowing that the situation was over. Without Zuanling Mountain, they could not defeat Lin Shiming at all. Lin Shiming was also a little dazed at this moment. It was the first time he met such a foundation-building monk. Would it be useful to just beg for mercy? But the next moment, he suddenly felt that there were actually waves of transparent white silk shooting at him. The next moment, the Queen shield directly blocked in front, but the terrifying thing was that the Queen shield directly broke into 2 halves, and the white spider silk still shot towards his head. The speed was extremely fast and terrifying. And at this time, the blue-robed monk beat the drum again. When the drum sounded, not only Lin Shiming was greatly affected, but even the golden-winged mantis also made a harsh chirping sound, which was extremely painful. Chapter 139 Huangpan's Secret Realm. At this moment, the situation was critical. The spider silk of the blue-robed old man was obviously the same type of magic weapon as his magic weapon, the golden thread and silver thread. But the latter was not a second-grade magic weapon, but a third-grade medium-grade magic weapon. The speed was much faster than the former, and the penetration power was even more terrifying. The Queen shield, which was also a third-grade medium grade, was actually penetrated alive. If it hadn't been for seeing it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have dared to believe it before. Even at this moment, he didn't have time to use the Kangfen blood-breaking needle. The spiritual attack of the spirit drum made it impossible for him to concentrate on activating the magic sword and the purple gold vine. At this moment, the expression of the blue-robed old man also relaxed instantly, and even the monk with a small beard looked confident of victory, as if Lin Shiming was already a dead man. You know, the blue-robed old man didn't know how many foundation-building monks he killed with these two magic weapons. And Lin Shiming's fate was no different in their eyes. But the next moment, Lin Shiming once again used a purple vine to pull him back 100 meters, and in the air, he threw another bead. The blood-red bead suddenly turned into blood-colored lightning and exploded violently. A terrifying spiritual power instantly turned into a series of thunders. The arcs jumped like a baptism of thunder punishment, and the hissing sound was deafening. The white spider silk was instantly blown apart and could no longer pose a threat to Lin Shiming. How do you have a third-grade top-grade blood-killing thunder? The blue-robed old man was in disbelief at this moment. The reputation of the blood-killing thunder is well known. They couldn't believe that the cultivator in the early stage of foundation building in front of them actually had blood-killing thunder. The blood-killing thunder is not only powerful, equivalent to a blow in the late stage of foundation building, but also can defile magic tools. It is a combination of magic and thunder cultivation. But it was too late to disbelieve it. The golden-winged mantis injured by the spirit drum was extremely angry, hissing, and its 6 wings spread out. The golden light flashed, and I felt a golden rainbow flying over. The blue-robed old man had just released the spirit sword, and picked up the hammer and began to hit the mysterious spirit drum. The spirit sword was swept away in an instant, and the golden foot also came up and directly cut off the head of the blue-robed old man. The unbeaten spirit drum fell to the ground, and the golden-winged mantis even wanted to bite the spirit drum to vent its anger. But it was stopped by Lin Shiming. The power of this magic weapon made him salivate, and at the critical moment, it could definitely turn the situation around. At the same time, the monk with a small beard over there was also stunned at this moment, with a face full of fear. 2 monks in the middle stage of foundation building were killed. How could he, an ordinary monk in the early stage of foundation building, be a match for Lin Shiming? He hurriedly retreated, and said as he retreated, "I'll tell you where there is the demon luring grass, I'll tell you where there is a secret realm." Lin Shiming also stopped at this moment. He didn't know how many times he had heard about the opportunity of the secret realm, but looking at the little beard like this, there might really be a secret realm. "Master, I caught a key training monk, he knows the news of the secret realm." Not far away, Lin Yi also came over. On the spirit boat, he released Lin Yi, and the storage bag of the foundation building pill was also on him. As for the action on the spirit boat, it was just to confuse the blue-robed old man. When they fell down to fight to the death, Lin Yi was allowed to go first just in case. But looking at his hand, a young man in a green robe was caught in his hand like a chicken. Seeing this, Lin Shiming directly urged the purple gold root of the purple gold vine, and instantly pierced the body of the little bearded monk. So far, the battle was won. Of course, at this moment, he also regretted that he did not learn the secret method of soul searching that the foundation building monks had. For casual cultivators like the little bearded monk, it would be better to search the soul directly. At this moment, Lin Yuzhen, Lin Haowei and others all stared at Lin Shiming blankly. In the end, he couldn't help swallowing his saliva. They had never expected that Lin Shiming's strength had reached such a level that even 2 cultivators in the middle stage of foundation building were killed by him. The 3 of them did not help at all, and the 3 talents' mysterious spiritual formation was suppressed by the spirit drum. By the time they set up the formation, Lin Shiming had killed all 3 of them. And you have to know that more than a decade ago, Lin Shiming was just a key training show like them. "Pack up your things and leave first." Lin Shiming said nothing more, took all the spoils in his hands, and then drove the spirit boat towards Fangmu Mountain. And the cultivator was directly grabbed by the neck by Lin Yi and thrown onto the spirit boat. The spirit boat flew towards Fangmu Mountain, leaving only golden long rainbows in the air. 3 days later, at Fangmu Mountain, beside the Qinglian Pond, a group of foundation building elders of the Lin family were waiting in the pavilion. At this moment, the pavilion that was originally for rest has almost become another meeting hall for the Lin family. This is because the seventh uncle likes to be beside the Kinglian pond, and it is also related to the fact that basically all major events are brought by Lin Shiming. At this moment, except for Lin Huaiong who is guarding Lingnan County, almost all the senior members of the Lin family gathered here. After a while, Lin Xianzi, with white hair, floated out and landed in the pavilion. Although the skills have been corrected, in fact, Lin Xianzi's lifespan is only about 30 to 40 years. In order to hide his tracks, he simply kept his hair white. Shiming, is this true? Lin Xianzi was also very serious at this moment, because the news given by Lin Shiming was too shocking. It turned out to be a yellow-grade secret realm. In the world of cultivation, there are always some overlapping small spaces. Even a great man once proposed that a Huangaian continent, including 7 or 8 major cultivation countries such as Zhao and Shu, is a small space in other worlds of cultivation. Otherwise, there are many 6th-level skills in the cultivation world of the entire Huangaian continent, but there is no 6th-level Yuanying's engine. This is related to the spirit veins and the spiritual energy of the heaven and earth in the world of cultivation. In addition to the small world space with cultivators, there are naturally small spaces without cultivators, which are also called secret realms by cultivators. The secret realm is divided into 4 grades: heaven, earth, black and yellow, corresponding to the cultivators of key training, foundation building, purple mansion and golden elixir. In these secret realms, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is thick, and no one has mined for hundreds of years. There are huge amounts of 100-year-old spiritual medicines, and even 1,000-year-old spiritual medicines. It is said that the Kingsuan sect has 3 yellow-grade secret realms and 1 black-grade secret realm, which can have huge spiritual medicine resources and create batches of cultivators with profound magic power. 7th uncle, seriously, but this secret realm is also a small yellow-grade secret realm, not big, only the size of 3 square wood mountains. It used to be the private secret realm of the Purple Mansion family Lei family. Later, the Purple Mansion of the Lei family fell and began to end. 30 years ago, there was no foundation building cultivator left, and even the secret realm could not be opened. In the end, the land was robbed by others, and the only direct descendant was caught by several scattered cultivators and bandits. As he said, Lin Shiming took out the Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root again. The Golden Thunder Bamboo continuously released thunder and lightning. Lin Xianzi looked at his eyes and suddenly there was a burst of light. Golden Thunder Bamboo is not something that ordinary forces have, so the possibility of this yellow-grade secret realm is greatly increased. They are even looking forward to whether there is Golden Thunder Bamboo growing in the secret realm. Chapter 140 Family Jade Book. The elders standing nearby were also thirsty after hearing this. This was a yellow-grade secret realm. You should know that there were only 3 in the Kingsuan sect. Of course, this was on the surface. It was hard to say how many secret realms there were in secret. But this already showed that the Lin family was moving towards the Purple Mansion family. A gold, iron and stone vein, a 3rd-level refiner appeared, and there was also a recipe for the Purple Mansion Jade Liquid. If the spiritual medicine of the Purple Mansion Jade Liquid was gathered together and the configuration was successful by chance, then the Lin family would become the Purple Mansion family in no time. Now there is another yellow-grade secret realm. Even if it is open once every 10 years, it can provide a large amount of spiritual medicine for the Lin family. Although it is only a yellow-grade secret realm, it can only cultivate 2nd and 3rd grade spiritual medicines at most, but for the Lin family, it is completely enough. Shiming, how is the confidentiality of this news? Lin Xianzi asked again. Everyone who knows is here, and the cultivator from the Lei family. Lin Shiming replied in a deep voice, and then added, Okay, we can't discuss this matter from today on. Let's discuss it after I buy the family jade book from Kingsuan City. Lin Xianzi said, and then looked at everyone with a majestic look. The matter of the Huangpan secret realm is too important. If it is leaked, even if Kingsuan sect does not make a statement, the major Purple Palace monks of Kingsuan sect will come to ask for it. The family jade book is a 4th-level magic weapon. This family jade book is also the same as the war treasure ship. It can be used by foundation building monks. Its function is also very special. In the minds of the members of the family's direct line, a forbidden array is set up to prevent ordinary monks from searching their souls. Once the soul is searched, the destruction device is directly triggered. The Lei family monk had a forbidden array in his mind, so he was not killed by the few foundation building casual cultivators in the Black Wind village. Of course, Although this family jade book is precious, it is not as priceless as the war treasure ship. It can be bought for 800,000 or 900,000 spirit stones. In addition, the family has started the first clan competition. The late stage of key training, the middle stage of key training, and the early stage of key training must all be the key support objects of the family. Lin Yi spoke again. Yes, seventh uncle. Lin Shiming, as the head of the family, immediately agreed. But before that, Lin Shiming took out the jade slip of the steward of Duobiao Tower and handed it to Lin Xianzi. Seventh uncle, this is what Xiao Chen, the steward of Duobiao Tower, asked me to pass on to you. Oh. Lin Xianzi was also quite surprised when he heard this. But after reading the jade slip, his face suddenly turned cold. Obviously, the information in the jade slip also surprised Lin Xianzi. Seventh uncle, are you exploring the secret realm? Lin Shiming asked tentatively. From Xiao Chen's urgent need for the Purple Mansion spiritual medicine, it should be that his lifespan is not much. Since he didn't exchange the Purple Mansion spiritual medicine at the exchange meeting, and there was no Purple Mansion spiritual medicine at the auction, the only thing he could say was exploring the secret realm. Lin Xianzi nodded, but didn't say anything else. Seeing this, Lin Shiming didn't dare to ask too much, but began to prepare for the family competition. Fortunately, although he was the head of the family had 7 major halls, and the family competition was completely handled by the law enforcement hall. With the cultivation and experience of the great elder Lin Yuking, it was completely enough. After Lin Shiming finished dealing with it, he also returned to the cave. Speaking of which, this battle was also extremely dangerous. Both Xuanling Mountain and the mysterious spirit drum had caused him great trouble. Fortunately, the golden winged mantis and the blood evil thunder broke the situation in the end. This also made him alert. If he met some experienced children of big families, it would be even more difficult. Thinking of this, he also took out all the harvest this time. Because the enemies were all foundation building cultivators, and he killed them all by himself, so all 3 storage bags belonged to him. He first took out the storage bag of the middle-aged cultivator, and the treasures of Xuanling Mountain came into view. He picked up Xuanling Mountain and felt a thick and simple cold touch. He slightly applied his true energy, but he only felt that the weight suddenly increased, and instantly there was a force of thousands of pounds. This is still applying a little true energy to stimulate. If it is fully stimulated and turned into the size of a mountain, it will be at least 100,000 pounds. If it is accidentally hit, I am afraid that a late-stage third-order cultivator will not be able to survive. He carefully put away Xuanling Mountain. He would not use the mountain himself. He would give it to the red-haired demon monkey after the breakthrough. In addition, the middle-aged monk's storage bag had fewer spiritual stones, only tens of thousands of spiritual stones. There were still a few third-level low-grade magic swords, but Lin Shiming didn't care about them at all. He could just find a market to sell them, or even sell them in Zinxin market. The rest of the bottles and jars were not worth much. There was not even an inner armor. The middle-aged monk's storage bag was so poor that Lin Shiming was a little worried. He was afraid that the blue-robed old man and the monk with a small beard would not have anything good on their storage bags. Sure enough, in the monk with a small beard storage bag, only hundreds of thousands of spiritual stones were found, plus an ordinary third-level middle-grade magic sword, and 2 third-level low-grade magic tools. Lin Shiming naturally didn't care about them either. The last storage bag was the blue-robed old man's storage bag. He didn't know until he saw it. When he saw it, he was just shocked. There were more than 600,000 low-grade spirit stones alone. In addition, there were also many elixirs. There were 10 bottles of third-grade essence pills used by foundation building cultivators to improve their cultivation, and there were also more than 10 third-grade low-grade spirit talismans. Finally, there were magic tools, a third-grade upper-grade mysterious spirit drum, plus a third-grade middle-grade silkworm spider silk magic tool, and 2 third-grade middle-grade magic swords. The total value directly exceeded millions of spirit stones. After reading it, Lin Shiming was delighted. This blue-robed old man was too rich. I'm afraid that the children of ordinary big families are not as rich as the blue-robed old man. But when I think of the mysterious spirit drum in Xuanling Mountain, plus the 3 treasures of the silkworm spider silk, I'm afraid that some very powerful mid-stage foundation building peak cultivators will also fall in their hands. Especially the blue-robed old man and others, it is obvious that they only attack small families or independent cultivators, and they deliberately pick people. I'm afraid that in Kingston City, they not only attacked him. While Lin Shiming was delighted, he also picked up the spirit drum. The spirit drum was only as big as the mouth of a basin, and it was matched with 2 drumsticks. The drumsticks were embroidered with gorgeous spirit patterns, which matched the spirit drum perfectly. Lin Shiming tried to hide it, but suddenly found that the spirit drum actually consumed his spiritual consciousness. The next moment, his face suddenly turned pale. He gave up the idea of hitting the drum. This spirit drum might only be barely controlled by the spiritual consciousness of the middle stage of foundation building. Although his spiritual consciousness was far superior to that of ordinary cultivators in the early stage of foundation building, it was not at the level of the middle stage of foundation building, which made Lin Shiming a little curious. How could this blue-robed old man hit the drum, control the silk of the silkworm spider, and control 2 third-level middle-grade magic swords? The strength of this spiritual consciousness was somewhat beyond imagination. With this thought, Lin Shiming began to search for the jade slips in the blue-robed old man's storage bag. Soon, he found a mahogany bookshelf in a corner. This mahogany bookshelf was obviously very old, and on the bookshelf, it was not books that were stacked, but a row of jade slips. Chapter 141, God-Splitting Technique. Lin Shiming took out all the jade slips in one breath, but he was surprised to find that there were quite a few secret manuals. Among them, there were 5 elements, 4 yellow-grade upper-grade manuals, all of which could be cultivated to the peak of foundation building. In addition, there was a low-grade Zhuan-grade manual, Kishu's Hanjing. This was unexpected by Lin Shiming. You know, the Lin family only had 1 Zhuan-grade manual, which was a fire-attributed Zhuan-grade lower-grade manual that Lin Shiji practiced. This gave the family cultivators another choice. The harvest was no less than a 3rd-grade upper-grade magic weapon. From this point of view, the blue-robed old monk might have obtained a family inheritance. Otherwise, there would be no treasures like the shocking god drum and the heavenly silkworm spider silk, and it is even possible that the Zuanling mountain was also obtained together. When the jade slips of the 5 manuals came out, Lin Shiming was also very happy, and he was even more looking forward to the next jade slips. As a family separated from the sect, although the Lin family was once a purple mansion family, its martial arts foundation was still not as good as those of the 1,000-year-old foundation building families. There are 2 jade slips left. One is the experience of a 3rd-level weapon refiner, and the other is a secret method of the god-splitting art. The experience of weapon refinement is okay. The Lin family also has some, but the god-splitting art at the back is what makes him most excited. This technique is exactly the technique practiced by the blue-robed old man, which can greatly improve the spiritual consciousness. This god-splitting art is better than the 2nd-level awakening flower. When the spiritual consciousness is strong, he can also cast the god-splitting drum, and with a golden-winged mantis, if the late-stage foundation building cultivator is not careful, he may be killed by Lin Shiming. After receiving the god-splitting art, all the treasures have been checked. Although this time is thrilling, it is also very rewarding. There is a body refining technique, a secret method to condense spiritual consciousness, and now there is also the experience of weapon refinement. Once the matter of the Huangpan secret realm is resolved, he can retreat and hone himself to be stronger. Lin Shiming suppressed his joy and came to the stone chamber of the red-haired demon monkey. The latter was still sleeping and had not yet been promoted to the 3rd-level demon beast, but the increasingly powerful spiritual aura also made him feel relieved. With the blood of the red-haired demon monkey returning to its ancestral home once, plus the demon-breaking pill, it should not be difficult to break through the 3rd-level demon beast. I wonder how much potential there is after breaking through the 3rd-level demon beast. Then Lin Shiming came to the shining fruit tree again and used the wood-attributed true essence to carry out daily catalysis. At this time, the shining fruit tree was more luxuriant than before, and each leaf was shining with golden light. After spending half a day cultivating it, he walked to the small magical tree again. The small magical tree did not change at all from before. It was still so tall and looked like a young tree that had just grown. Lin Shiming also input true essence as usual, but the small magical tree had a great demand for true essence. Lin Shiming catalyzed it for a whole day. This made the small magical tree reach saturation, and he had to stop and meditate for a while. As for the remaining awakening flowers, Lin Shiming did not plant them again, but left them to the family's spiritual medicine garden, along with the soul-seeking bees. All the soul-seeking bee nectar has been put into the family's treasure house, but these nectars will be converted into contribution points. But at this moment, he didn't care how much contribution he had made to the Lin family. In short, he should be the first person after Lin Yi. Of course, as the head of the Lin family, he also has the right to use 50% of the family's property. Half a day later, Lin Yi woke up from his practice, feeling refreshed, and his true energy was fully restored. The benefits of practicing the Purple Wood Heart Sutra are also fully demonstrated, and he feels that his true energy is endless and long-lasting. Lin Yi took out the Golden Thunder Bamboo Spirit Root, which is also what he cares about most. With the Purple Wood Heart Sutra and the spirit body that he doesn't know whether it exists, he may even be able to cultivate the Golden Thunder Bamboo into 10,000-year-old Thunder Bamboo. Lin Yi dug a small pot of third-level spiritual soil from under the small magical tree, and then placed it on the other side of the cave. First, he took out the third-level spiritual water from the bottom of the Kinglian pond to irrigate it, and then took out the special spiritual liquid made by the Lin family. After this time, the spiritual soil was immediately filled with infinite vitality, and the wood attribute spiritual power reached the highest level. He then took out the Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root, buried it carefully, and then applied the Purple Wood Heart Sutra True Essence again. This time, the application of True Essence was longer. This moment was not to test the activity of the Golden Thunder Bamboo, but to make the Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root sprout. The amount of True Essence required was huge. 3 days passed, and almost all the True Essence in Lin Yi's Xianmu heart was exhausted. At this time, the Golden Thunder Bamboo spiritual root had no signs of sprouting, but there was lightning flashing in the spiritual soil, and the vitality after the thunder bombardment was extremely rich. Lin Yi finished his work and stood up. The Purple Wood Heart Sutra had been input to the maximum, but it still could not sprout in the end, which also meant that the Golden Thunder Bamboo needed more time. At the same time, it also meant that the potential of the Golden Thunder Bamboo was even stronger than that of the small magical tree. After the Golden Thunder Bamboo was planted, the last stone in his heart fell. After practicing in the cave for half a day again, he finally came out. This retreat took 7 days, and it happened that the 7th uncle Lin Yi returned. The family jade book has been purchased. Except for the monks in Nanling County and Xing County, almost all of the family gathered in the ancestral temple. Lin Yi's 7th uncle burned incense and recited the words. This is also the first time that the Lin family has a family jade book. In addition to the Forbidden God formation, it also means that the family can judge the survival of the monks without the family token. This time, when reciting the words to the ancestors, somehow, the 7th uncle said more than before. Among them, there are expectations for the family, and also expectations for Lin Yi. After everyone worshipped, Lin Yi organized all the family members to drip blood into the book. At the same time, each person will offer 3 sticks of fine sandalwood, and the family elder Lin Yi will introduce the family members and recite the words, which is also to introduce the family members to the ancestors of the Lin family. Lin Yi was the first, followed by Lin Haoyin, and the third was Lin Yi. When it came to Lin Shiji, the 5th, Lin Shiji had already burst into tears. The tablet of the second elder Lin Yi was also on it, the newest row. After the book was completed, Lin Yi announced that the Lin family's clan competition had begun. This clan competition also represented a new round of updates to the family's offering system, and the family also had to select the 3 heroes of the Lin family. The 3 heroes had no generational distinction, and anyone before the age of 50 could be selected. 2 people would be selected from the late stage of key training, and 1 person would be selected from the middle stage of key training. Of course, the most important thing was to select the monks of the Lin family who were suitable for entering the Huangpan Secret Realm. You must know that the Huangpan Secret Realm is inaccessible to foundation-building monks and third-level monsters. So this time, even Lin Yi could only wait outside the secret realm. This time, the family competition will be evaluated through actual combat. The 3 winning heroes of the Lin family will have the priority to exchange for foundation establishment pills. At the same time, the top 5 in the late key training competition, the top 3 in the middle key training competition, and the top 1 in the early key training competition can all obtain 500 contribution points from the family in a suitable magic weapon. In addition to this, I will give you an extra magic weapon. Lin Yi said again, which instantly surprised everyone. Lin Yi's fighting ability is one of the best in the family, and the power of his magic weapon is even more famous. Chapter 142 Family Competition. The competition started soon, in the martial arts hall in front of the treasure house. Lin Yi was the referee. After all, the three heroes of the Lin family also had a 9th level key training cultivator. If they fought, ordinary key training cultivators would not be able to save each other at the critical moment. And Lin Shiming was the head of the family. At this moment, Lin Yi had no other important things to do, so he started drawing lots directly. The Lin family lost more than 30 cultivators due to the beast tide this time. Because of the family changes and after the beast tide, many cultivators broke through. Now there are 5 foundation building cultivators, 9 9th level key training cultivators, 30 late stage cultivators, 60 middle level key training cultivators, 50 early level key training cultivators, and 12 innate cultivators. Compared with the last clan meeting, there are 20 more middle level key training cultivators, excluding the fallen cultivators, and there are no fewer late stage key training cultivators and 9th level key training cultivators than in the last clan meeting. You must know that many late-stage cultivators have already fallen in this beast tide. And this is also the result of the Lin family's reform of the assessment system. Among them, the 9th level of key training meets the age limit of 50. The 13th uncle Lin Yi and 15-year-old Lin Haoxuan participated in the clan competition. As for the other 9th level cultivators, they all exceeded the age limit. The most dazzling one among the late key training cultivators is Lin Shitao, who has broken through the 8th level of key training not long ago. You should know that she is only 23 years old and is also a 2nd level middle grade alchemist. She has almost been designated as a foundation building seed for the Lin family. Other late key training cultivators are much more ordinary. Among them, there are 6 Hao generation, including the fat cultivator Lin Hao Iwan who Lin Shiming had met before and was in charge of the Xing County auction. In addition to Lin Shitao, there are 3 other Shi generation. The 2nd oldest Lin Yi is at the 8th level of key training, the 9th oldest Lin Shiyan is at the 7th level of key training, and the 11th oldest Lin Shiki is at the 7th level of key training. Other late key training cultivators are all over 50 years old. The competition of the middle stage cultivators of the weapon refining is also the most lively. Among the 60 people, 30 of them can participate in the clan competition. Except for the 3 Hao generation cultivators, the rest are Shi generation cultivators. There were 40 participants in the early stage of key training. The competition was carried out smoothly, divided into 3 battlefields and 6 arenas. There was 1 arena for late stage of key training, 2 arenas for middle stage of key training, and 3 arenas for early stage of key training. Lin Yi was the guardian elder of the late stage of key training, who supervised the battle and acted as the guardian who stopped the battle at the critical moment. The middle stage of key training had Lin Yuking, the head of the Law Enforcement Hall, and Lin Haoyong, the head of the Monster Hunting Hall, as the Guardian Elders. The remaining elders were the Guardian Elders of the early stage of key training. The drawing of lots started immediately, and the 3 arenas started fighting almost at the same time. In the late stage, Lin Yi faced Lin Shiki, a 7th level key training cultivator. In the middle stage, Lin Shizhong, the 5th level key training, faced Lin Shifei, the 4th level key training, and Lin Shicheng faced Lin Shiyu. In the early stage, Lin Shiyu faced Lin Shiwei, Lin Shiking faced Lin Shike, and Lin Shiwen faced Lin Shiwu. Lin Shiming did not expect that at the beginning of the fight, there would be 2 people he was familiar with. Among them, Lin Shizhong was a cultivator with 3 spiritual roots that he brought back from King Tao Town. He had practiced for 12 years and reached the 5th level of key training. This training speed was quite satisfactory. But you have to know that the latter was also a weapon refiner, and had broken through to the 2nd level middle grade weapon refiner half a year ago. Although he was not as talented as Lin Shitao in alchemy, he was already quite amazing. He was also very curious about how far Lin Shizhong could go. He had previously given the latter a 2nd level upper grade magic weapon. Not to mention Lin Shiyi, his 2nd brother, a body refining cultivator, must have the possibility of competing for the 3rd place. However, the cultivators in the early stage of key training, although they were of the same generation, because of the vigorous development of the generation, the number of people ranked in the 90th generation, and he was not familiar with those who played this time. At the beginning of the fight, it was also beyond everyone's expectations. The cultivators in the late stage of key training fought much faster than the cultivators in the middle stage of key training, and the cultivators in the middle stage of key training were faster than the cultivators in key training. The first battle between the late key training monks was won by Lin Yi. It took less than half an hour for Lin Yi to win by close combat. Lin Shizhong also defeated his opponent in a quarter of an hour. As a second-level weapon refiner, he had too many spiritual weapons on him and suppressed his opponent almost all the time. Finally, the early key training monks decided the winner. The battle continued, and soon, the whole family decided on many outstanding children. Lin Shitao, who was in the 8th level of key training, had an amazing method of controlling fire, and defeated the more experienced 8th level key training monk of the Hao generation. Not to mention Lin Yi and Lin Haoxuan, they also defeated their opponents smoothly. The arena at the late key training and the 9th level of key training was also decided the fastest. Lin Yi, Lin Haoxuan, Lin Shitao, Lin Yi, Lin Xian, and Lin Haoyan. Lin Shiming was very familiar with 5 of them. Lin Yi and Lin Haoxuan, his 13th and 15th uncles, were both 9th level key training cultivators. Not to mention Lin Yi and Lin Shitao, he was extremely familiar with them. He was also very familiar with Lin Haoyan, who was the manager of the Lin family's Xin auction. Although he was usually full of flesh and had a chubby face and kind eyes, he was particularly vigorous when he started fighting, and defeated his opponents in a few moves. Speaking of the last one, Lin Xian, he was a surprise. He was the 9th of the Lin family's Shi generation, half a year younger than Lin Shiming, and was at the 7th level of key training. His opponent was a cultivator of the Hao generation who was at the 8th level of key training. Unexpectedly, he was a 2nd level upper grade formation master. In the family competition, he actually arranged several 2nd level middle grade formations in an instant to win. All 6 of them made the Lin family particularly satisfied, and in the middle stage of key training, there were also many outstanding children, Lin Shizhong, Lin Xian, Lin Shike, among which Lin Shike and Lin Shizhong were both key training level 5 cultivators, but one was a talisman master and the other was a weapon refiner. The remaining 6 were all key training level 6 cultivators. And these cultivators were all around 23 or 24 years old, and they all participated in the demon hunting team, experienced a lot of battles and had a lot of fighting experience. The best spiritual root among them was only 3 spiritual roots, and being able to reach this point already showed the prosperous image of the Lin family. You should know that Lin Shiming only broke through the late stage of key training in his early 20s. On the contrary, his 3rd sister, Lin Shiki, who was at the 6th level of key training, was quickly eliminated, but the latter also became a 2nd level superior spiritual plant master in the past 10 years. There are many spiritual plants in the entire Fangmu Mountain spiritual medicine garden that are taken care of by her. Seeing this, he couldn't help but think of his 4th brother, Lin Shimo, who was carrying a coffin, and he didn't know whether the latter was building a foundation now. If he had not insisted, the Lin family would have a lot of foundation building pills now. But as he thought at the time, the path was chosen by himself, and the cause today is the result today. Among the cultivators in the early stage of key training, the one who surprised Lin Shiming the most was not someone else, but Lin Shili, who was in the 2nd stage of key training. This boy, who was only 12 years old, did not use thunder magic, but had thunder sword skills, which was much faster than ordinary people. Among the cultivators in the early stage of key training, he had few rivals. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 Gift of Treasure. The family competition lasted for 3 days, and the whole family witnessed the vigor of the younger generation. Especially the 3 battles of the late stage of key training in the Lin family. Among the late stage cultivators, Lin Haoyi faced Lin Yi first. Although his uncle 13 usually drinks wine, the wine gourd hanging around his waist is not a real wine pot. He opened the gourd and threw it into the sky, and it suddenly turned into a huge golden gourd. Thousands of golden sands flew out, turned into various strange beasts, and rushed towards Lin Yi. As a physical cultivator, Lin Yi also burst out with unparalleled strength and speed. He was in front of Lin Yi in one step, and a top-grade spiritual stick hit Lin Yi hard. The spiritual sand on Lin Yi's body suddenly turned into a huge sand shield, wrapping Lin Yi. The huge sound exploded like a muffled thunder, and the cultivators who saw it couldn't help but retreat 100 meters away. In their hearts, they all thought to themselves, if this stick hit them, how could they resist it? During the period, the golden sand was smashed open by the stick with a force of more than 1,000 pounds several times, but more golden sand poured out. At the last moment, the golden sand turned into a giant palm and grabbed the iron stick. Then Lin Yi appeared 2 flying swords from the sand, and pierced the latter's shoulder when Lin Yi was not paying attention. Lin Yi won. And Lin Yi lost this battle convincingly. He was not someone who could not afford to lose. He had never won in the competition with Lin Yi and Lin Shiming. As a physical cultivator, he had been breaking through himself. The elders of the Lin family were standing by and nodded frequently. Both of them were very powerful. But Lin Yi was obviously more experienced and had a stronger cultivation. It was normal for him to lose when Lin Yi could not break the defense. Second brother, you can't break the defense. In fact, you can switch back and forth between Uncle 13 and the Golden Guard to attack. He doesn't have enough golden sand. Lin Shiming commented, and also reminded Lin Yi. Thank you for the reminder, Patriarch. Uncle 13 wins. Lin Yi also announced that Lin Yi won. With Lin Yi's victory, it was time for Lin Shitao and Lin Haoxun to fight. For this battle, everyone didn't have too many expectations. Both Lin Shitao and Lin Haoxun were alchemists, and they shouldn't be particularly good at fighting. Moreover, Lin Haoxun was at the 9th level of key training, which was a real cultivation. In terms of the thickness of spiritual energy, the reserves of spells, and magic tools, he was obviously far superior to Lin Shitao. However, unexpectedly, Lin Shitao launched a Molian sword into the air as soon as he came up, and then flames burst out all over the sky. It was the Lihiro sword technique. The fire sword was pouring, and the flames were all over the sky, and they immediately pressed towards Lin Haoxun. Lin Shitao was worthy of being a double spiritual root. With the 8th level of key training, the Lihiro sword technique he performed was no less powerful than Lin Yi at the beginning. In the end, with a series of Lihiro sword techniques, he actually defeated Lin Haoxun, who was at the 9th level of key training. This also shocked many people. Even Lin Shiming didn't expect that Lin Shitao would win. However, in the subsequent battle, he still lost to Lin Yi and finally ranked 2nd. The Golden Sands and the Golden Guard also restrained Lin Shitao's Lihiro swordsmanship. Lin Shitao also learned from experience to deal with the Golden Guard, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to take out a blue wine pot. A large amount of mysterious water gushed out of this wine pot, extinguishing the Lihiro swordsmanship, and finally Lin Shitao was defeated. The rankings were also completely settled, with Lin Yi and Lin Shiyan ranked 4th and 5th. And the 30th uncle Lin Haoxun was ranked 6th. In the middle stage of key training, Lin Shizhong, Lin Shike, and Lin Shiyan became the top 3. Among them, Lin Shiyan actually raised a spirit beast, a saber-toothed tiger, at the last moment. Although the tiger beast was not fully adult, it also had the strength of the peak of the early stage of key training. At the critical moment, it blocked Lin Shike's talisman for Lin Shiyan and won the 1st place. In the early stage of key training, Lin Shilai ranked 1st, Lin Shiong 2nd, and Lin Shilin 3rd. The Lin family did not disclose Lin Shilai's identity as a spiritual root, so everyone only knew that Lin Shilai had 3 spiritual roots. This time, he won the 1st place in the key training initial stage clan competition at the 2nd level, which really surprised many people, especially the elder Lin Yuking. He was full of smiles and looked extremely happy. This is his grandson. Moreover, the spiritual root has not been publicized yet. If the identity of the 1st spiritual root of the Lin family is known, it will definitely be more sensational. Lin Yuking paid out of his own pocket on the spot and rewarded Lin Shilai with a bottle of spiritual honey. Speaking of which, this spiritual honey was given to the elder before. At this time, he already had about 800 spirit-seeking bees, and the spiritual honey would be more every year than before. When it came to the reward stage, Lin Shiming issued the rewards for the initial and middle stages of key training on the spot. Among them, there are many fine magic tools he has harvested over the years, and now as a reward, it is just right to use them. At the same time, the 3 heroes of the family were also confirmed, namely Lin Shitao, Lin Haoxun, and Lin Yi. As for the rewards for the late cultivators, Lin Shiming called the top 5 to the meeting hall. Among the 5 people, except Lin Yi, they were all a little confused. I know you are confused, But the family has discovered a yellow-grade secret realm that can only be entered by key training cultivators. There are dangers, but also opportunities. Lin Shiming said. As soon as these words came out, the four people except Lin Yi almost simultaneously released strange light in their eyes. The yellow-grade secret realm represents countless spiritual medicines, and some rare monster resources. As for the danger, it is nothing in their eyes now, especially Lin Yi and Lin Yi. They need contribution points to exchange for foundation-building pills. If this secret realm goes smoothly, the spiritual medicines they may bring out will be enough for them to build their foundation. And Lin Haoxun was also very excited. As an alchemist, he usually lacks some rare spiritual medicines. If he can find them in the secret realm, it will be of great benefit to his progress in alchemy. Uncle 15, you don't have to go. The family currently lacks alchemists, and the secret realm is an unknown secret realm. Lin Shiming saw that Lin Haoxun was also very excited, and he couldn't help but say, Master, if the 9th level key training cultivators in the family don't go, and let Shi Tao, who has a second spiritual root, go, how can I feel at ease? Lin Haoxun replied with a wry smile. The Lin family does need to prevent unknown dangers inside. But you have to know that there are only 9 9th level key training cultivators in the Lin family. If they don't go a little more, will Lin Shitao, who is at the 7th and 8th levels of key training, go? Lin Shiming was a little stunned for a moment. According to his idea, the elders of the family will select those with strong fighting ability in the late stage of key training. As for precious cultivators like alchemists and weapon refiners, they will still stay in Fangmu Mountain. But now he thought that since no one had entered the secret realm for many years, there might be many monsters in the late stage of key training. If there were not enough cultivators at the 9th level of key training, they might not get much. There might also be casualties due to lack of concentration. For example, if it weren't for the snake vine flower that he took action at the critical moment, he might not have been able to capture the Peach Blossom Valley without any damage. Master, we still have to do our best in this matter. The matter of the secret realm is still unknown. Lin Haoxun still spoke. Lin Shiming was silent, and no one retreated. This secret realm is naturally an opportunity, but there are also a large number of monsters in it. I'll ask my 7th uncle for instructions on this matter. Lin Shiming still hesitated and did not make a final conclusion immediately. Instead, he took out a magic weapon as a reward for this clan competition, which made several cultivators very happy. Even Lin Yi, the 13th uncle, and Lin Haoxun, the 15th uncle, were a little tempted. When Lin Shiming was at the 9th level of key training, he could be said to be fighting dozens of cultivators at the 9th level of key training at the same time. Lin Shiming finally gave the gold and silver threads to Lin Yi, the 5 elements tower to Lin Haoxun, and the heaven trapping bell to Lin Shitao. The 1,000-layer mountain was given to Lin Yi, and the mysterious soul needle to Lin Xian. These magic weapons were no longer of much use to him, but to Lin Yi and the others, they were like magic weapons that could kill them. With these magic weapons, the 5 of them were more confident. Chapter 144, Thunder Technique. On the Kinglian Pond, Lin Shiming had just returned to the cave, and then he felt a wave of heat coming towards him. The first thing that caught his eye was a fiery red stone chamber. And the formation he had set up before was also burned. The stone chamber was opened from the inside, and then he felt a fiery red monkey as tall as an ordinary adult rushing out from it. Lin Shiming looked closely and found that it was the red-haired demon monkey. At this time, the demon monkey had obviously broken through the 3rd level, and its whole body was radiating spiritual power, constantly rolling in all directions. Lin Shiming was overjoyed. The red-haired demon monkey broke through faster than he had imagined. But when he recalled that the secret method of the red-haired demon monkey's bloodline reversion used the blood of a full 10 3rd-level demon monkeys, he felt it was normal. At this moment, the size of the red-haired demon monkey had shrunk again, only the size of an ordinary adult, and the hair on its body was like the magma in a volcano, constantly flowing, and sending a continuous heat wave. The most surprising thing was the red-haired demon monkey's tail. It was longer, and at the end of the tail, the thick hair disappeared, and instead a blazing flame appeared, which lasted for a long time. Lin Shiming probed his consciousness and felt that his consciousness seemed to be burned. He quickly retracted his consciousness, and his joy was even greater. This fire was obviously not ordinary fire. The stone room was burned red because of this fiery tail. This is too lucky. Lin Shiming was also stunned. This red-haired demon monkey had comprehended his spiritual fire. At this moment, although the red-haired demon monkey had just broken through the third-level demon beast, if they really fought, I am afraid that dozens of demon monkeys of the same level might not be the opponent of the red-haired demon monkey. Ah, ah, ah. The red-haired demon monkey pointed at Lin Shiming's waist and kept calling. Lin Shiming also smiled bitterly and took out the beast-raising pills and spirit beast meat from the storage bag, as well as the third-level spiritual water. The red-haired demon monkey grabbed it with both hands, but surprisingly, he put the spiritual water and spiritual beast meat behind him, and continued to point at Lin Shiming's waist, howling. This made Lin Shiming a little strange. But when he saw the red-haired demon monkey pointing at the spiritual beast bag, he also looked at the fire monkey with strange eyes. Only then did he understand that the red-haired demon monkey wanted to fight with a golden-winged mantis. This was stimulated by the golden-winged mantis, and he wanted to fight as soon as he came out. Lin Shiming couldn't help but smile bitterly, and released the golden-winged mantis. Sure enough, the latter stopped howling, but stretched out his palm and wanted to slap the golden-winged mantis's head, but the golden-winged mantis at this time was not shorter than the two. This slap was a golden sickle foot, which frightened the demon monkey and made him jump back suddenly. Then he kept circling around the golden-winged mantis, but the golden-winged mantis ignored it and was quiet. Okay, eat some spiritual food to stabilize yourself. If you are naughty again, I will lock you up. Lin Shiming immediately conveyed his dissatisfied consciousness through the spiritual contract. The red-haired demon monkey suddenly howled in a low voice, and his mood seemed to drop. He slapped the golden-winged mantis fiercely, and then turned to get his spiritual water and beast-nurturing pill. Seeing this, Lin Shiming was somewhat helpless against this naughty monkey who wanted to show off and find fault as soon as he broke through the third level, but you have to know that he was doing it for the good of the red-haired demon monkey. Although the demon monkey was extremely powerful and had a strange fire, you have to know that the speed of the golden-winged mantis's 6 wings flying was beyond the reach of the mid-stage foundation-building cultivators. When the time came, the only one who would suffer was the red-haired demon monkey. Lin Shiming finally took out the Zuanling Mountain. Without any exception, the red-haired demon monkey snatched the Zuanling Mountain, constantly lifting it up and down, throwing it, and howling happily. Lin Shiming threw the red-haired demon monkey into the stone chamber, and then went to find Lin Xianzi to decide the cultivators for this trip to the secret realm. The seventh uncle was still in the pavilion, and there was still a chess game in the pavilion, and the white and black pieces were all Lin Xianzi. Lin Shiming walked to the chessboard and watched silently. Every time Lin Xianzi made a move, he would pause for a long time. The white pieces attacked the black pieces, and the black pieces attacked the white pieces. When Lin Xianzi saw Lin Shiming coming over, he also turned his head. Seventh uncle. Lin Shiming greeted respectfully. 15th uncle also wants to go on this trip to the secret realm. If fourth grandpa also goes, Lin Shiming said with some concern. Why not? Lin Xianzi shook his head, and then continued, mortals all know that in life, they only ask for a clear conscience and no regrets. For cultivators like us, it's the same. Everyone pursues the great way of cultivating immortals. Who hasn't been beaten to a bloody pulp on the way? But if they were to start over again, how many of them would give up the temptation of the great way of cultivating immortals, be content with mediocrity, and enjoy the birth, aging, sickness and death of mortals? You have to know that the great way is possible. Even after 60, when the ki and blood are declining, it is possible to build a foundation. It is also possible to build a foundation without a foundation-building pill. Shiming, you have to understand that casual cultivators and family cultivators are without exception. They all have their hearts set on the great way. The difference lies in protection and tribute. They provide elixirs and refining tools to the family, and they will also be protected by the family. Remember not to race their heart towards the Tao. You must remember that the soul of the family is always the strongest. Only with a purple mansion cultivator can it be called a purple mansion family, and only with a golden core cultivator can it be called a golden core family. Now you are a foundation building cultivator, and your strength is far beyond the initial stage of foundation building. If the family wants to develop, the family's alchemist must also develop towards the third level middle grade alchemist, and also need to break through the foundation building period, so as to help you advance to the purple mansion. As for falling, this is the preparation you should have when you take the first step in cultivating immortals. After Lin Xianzi finished speaking, he stood up and left, leaving Lin Shiming alone in the pavilion. He thought of his second grandfather Lin Yi. If he hadn't risked his life to build the foundation that day, Lin Yi would have at least 5 or 6 years of life. But this is the charm of the road to cultivating immortals. If you don't try, you will be unhappy for the rest of your life. Thank you, seventh uncle. Lin Yi already understood at this moment. And just as he walked out of the pavilion, a talisman turned into golden light and flew over. It fell into his hand. After Lin Yi took a look, he flew directly to the meeting hall on his sword. In the hall, the great elder Lin Yi was waiting for him. Grandpa. Lei Zhuan has a thunder-related Zhuan-level technique. Lin Yi was also shocked at this moment. The talisman just now was not the voice transmission of others, but Lin Yi, who said that the Lei Zhuan brought back not only knew the location of the secret realm, but he himself was also a thunder spirit root. In their family, there was also a Zhuan-level thunder-related technique that could be cultivated to the late purple mansion. He was also practicing the Zhuan-level technique. Master, it is true. His methods are all thunder-related spells. Although Lin Yi was a little excited, he was not so excited that he was carried away. Seeing this, Lin Yi also nodded. If he could get this Zhuan-level thunder-related technique, Lin Yi's future would be broader. At least he could be regarded as a purple mansion seat in the family. He said he wanted to talk to you. Lin Yi spoke again. Okay, there is no problem with this matter, Grandpa, please rest assured, Shiming will do his best. Lin Yi said. It is important to get this technique, but as the head of the Lin family, he is also responsible for the Lin family. It is related to the secret realm, and there must not be any leakage. If Lei Zhuan wants to use the technique to exchange for freedom, there must be restrictions. Thank you for the rewards from Dark and Explosive Heart, and time passes quickly. Thank you. Thank you also for the monthly tickets sent by everyone. There are too many to mention one by one. I appreciate your kindness. Chapter 145, Marrying into the Family. Next to the meeting hall of the Lin family, there is a row of rooms for entertaining distinguished guests. Although Lei Zhuan is not a guest, since it is related to the secret realm, the Lin family also invited Lei Zhuan here, and there will be someone to take care of his food and daily life. Lin Yi called the monk guarding the door and knocked on the door. Lei Dao. Senior Lin, please come in. Lei Zhuan also opened the door, and when he saw that it was Lin Yi, his face was full of enthusiasm. Lin Yi was a little stunned. He had been called little friend, Dao, or the head of the Lin family. This was the first time he was called Senior Lin. However, according to the rules of the cultivation world, he was indeed a senior. He lived for 250 years after the foundation was established. He had unknowingly walked ahead of countless cultivators. Lei Zhuan was not tall and was a little thin, but his eyes were bright. His face was neither humble nor arrogant, and he even felt that he saw his former self in him. Lei Zhuan invited Lin Yi into the room and sat at the table. On the table was a set of tea sets, a tea table, a teapot, and teacups. Lin Yi's face looked a little strange. Lei Zhuan seemed to think that this place was his own home. As it was related to the secret realm, Lei Zhuan would either block his memory or be imprisoned in the Lin family for life. After seeing that Lei Zhuan did not move, Lin Yi did not talk about the thunder system, but sat quietly. At this time, whoever spoke first would definitely be at a disadvantage. On the family side, they naturally did not want to take risks, but if they could have thunder system skills, they would naturally have thunder system skills, which was related to the future of Lin Yi, who was of the Shi character generation. Unless the Lin family could send Lin Yi to the sect. So he was not in a hurry, and there was no shortage of time. Lei Zhuan held a steaming teapot, sprinkled a wisp of tea leaves with his other hand, poured in boiling spiritual water, brewed tea, and poured tea in one go. The movements were beautiful, and Lin Yi could not help but admire it. As soon as the tea leaves were brewed, a strong fragrance came out, which made Lin Yi's true essence jump a little, especially the true essence heart. A hidden true essence in his body was ready to move, as if it was greatly stimulated. Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a great shock in his heart. Of course, it was not because this tea was a second-grade upper-grade tea, but because he felt the power of the wood demon heart in his body. This means that this tea may have been picked from the body of a wood demon. What is the name of this tea? I don't know what the name of this tea is, but in our family it is called Mingxin tea. This tea is not from the outside world, only the secret realm has it. I can also show this map to you later. Lei Zhuan replied respectfully. Would you like to taste the flavor of this century-old tea tree now? Lin Shiming nodded, and then took a sip of tea. This Mingxin tea turned into fragrance when it entered the mouth, gathering in the throat without dispersing, and the tea taste was long and meaningful. Although he was not a tea connoisseur, he had to admit the quality of this tea. After taking a sip of tea, the true essence in the body began to circulate, and a little more cultivation was unexpectedly added. In addition, it also gave a person a feeling of spiritual emptiness. Good tea. Lin Shiming couldn't help but admire. But at the same time, he was also very interested in the tea tree demon. If this tree was a wood demon, if he brought it back to the family, the Lin family would have another industry far beyond spiritual food, Mingxin tea. But after drinking tea, business was about to begin. Suddenly, the air fell into an awkward situation. Lin Shiming was no longer a young boy, but was extremely relaxed. He poured himself a cup of tea, looked at the tea, and tasted the tea. Senior Lin, I won't beat around the bush. I want freedom, and I am willing to exchange it with the lower-grade thunder system skills of the Zhuan level and the treasure map and distribution in the secret realm. Lei Zhuan said. Lin Shiming did not answer immediately, but took another sip of tea. Finally, he put the teacup on the table, tapped the table lightly with his middle finger and index finger, and then slowly spoke. Okay, but we have to seal your memory of the secret realm and the Lin family's memory. After Lin Shiming said this, Lei Zhuan's face suddenly became a little ugly. Sealing the memory means that you have to be completely open to Lin Shiming and others, and it also means handing over and releasing the family jade book. At that time, he will have no secrets in front of Lin Shiming. And at that time, there will be no initiative. Senior Lin, I can swear not to reveal this to anyone. Lei Zhuan leaned forward subconsciously, looking at Lin Shiming and continued. No, you should know why your Lei family will decline rapidly. Lin Shiming shook his head. Lei Zhuan is not an ordinary person. As the heir of the Lei family, as long as he is recognized by his old enemies, it is possible to trace him to the Lin family. Then Senior Lin, can I marry into the Lin family, and use the map of the secret realm and the thunder system as a gift? Lei Zhuan spoke again. And his words also shocked Lin Shiming. Before this, he had never thought that Lei Zhuan would actually make such a request. Marrying into the family means not only giving up the previous family status, but also giving up his own status as a free cultivator. But on second thought, if Lei Zhuan wants to break through the foundation building safely, or even the Purple Mansion, he still needs to buy the foundation building pill and the Purple Mansion jade liquid, and the hostile Purple Mansion family will never give Lei Zhuan the opportunity unless Lei Zhuan joins the sect. I want to know why. Lin Shiming asked. Lying dormant, revenge. When Lei Zhuan said this, even though he looked calm on the surface, a fierce and violent light emerged in his eyes. Of course, I will not let the family take risks, but wait until the Purple Mansion is fully developed to take revenge. Who is the hostile family? Lin Shiming continued to ask. Jianzhou Zhang family. Lei Zhuan continued to reply. And Lin Shiming's mind suddenly flooded with information about the Zhang family. The Zhang family is a family from Jianzhou. Jianzhou is somewhat similar to Qingzhou. There are more Purple Mansion families than Yunzhou and Xuzhou, and all kinds of resources and spiritual veins are richer. There are 3 Purple Mansion families, and the Zhang family is one of the 3 Purple Mansion families. It is said that there are 2 Purple Mansion cultivators in the family, and there is also a Purple Mansion cultivator in the late stage of the Qingxun sect. This is okay, but if you marry into the family, do you have a favorite Taoist partner? Lin Shiming thought again and again, and was ready to agree. If it were in the past, he would still hesitate. After all, this is a cultivator with different spiritual roots. As long as everything goes smoothly and there are enough resources, it is completely possible to be a Purple Mansion. But after learning that he may have a hidden spiritual body, he also has more confidence to suppress Lei Zhuan. Not to mention, he also has a system prompt. If there is danger, the system prompt will also be given. Now Lei Zhuan looks like he really wants to marry into the family and take advantage of the situation. Lin Shiki. Lei Zhuan spoke again. This affirmative opening, Lin Shiming also understood instantly. Lei Zhuan probably knew from the beginning that he could not leave freely, and had long thought about marrying into the family, retaining his autonomy, and joining the family. The Lin family's policy of training disciples is almost born for geniuses. Chapter 146, Candidates Confirmed. Have you met Lin Shiki? Lin Shiming asked, even though he had thought about it. We've talked a few times and had a great time. Okay, but I'm going to ask my third sister about this. Lin Shiming finally replied. If Lei Zhuan married into the family, the Lin family would not only have more thunder-related skills, but also a genius cultivator with different spiritual roots. Most importantly, it would perfectly solve Lei Zhuan's own problem. Without Lei Zhuan, they couldn't find the Huangpan secret realm, and if they let Lei Zhuan lead the way, they would have to make a vow to the heavens not to kill him. This would definitely leave hidden dangers. Of course, as the head of the Lin family, he would have to face more and be more careful of the Zhang family. But in fact, for the Lin family, from the Huangpan secret realm, they were destined to be more cautious. Senior, please unseal it for me, and I'll record the secret method now. Lei Zhuan was overjoyed and spoke quickly. There's no rush for this, my third sister hasn't agreed yet. Kira has already agreed. Lin Shiming saw Lei Zhuan's look, and there was something strange at the corner of his mouth. Lin Shiqi's appearance suddenly appeared in his mind. He didn't expect that his third sister would be captured in just half a month. Sure enough, Lin Shiqi knocked on the door outside, as if she had been waiting for a long time. Master. Lin Shiqi greeted Lin Shiming. At this moment, Lin Shiqi was no longer as willful as she was more than 10 years ago. Instead, she tied her hair up. My feelings for Zhuan Liang are real. Third sister, are you sure you know him? Lin Shiqi nodded. Okay, so be it. Seeing this, Lin Shiming shook his head and looked at Lei Zhuan. You are a smart person. You should know what to do and what not to do. Lin Shiming unsealed Lei Zhuan and asked the latter to depict the location of the secret realm and the map inside the secret realm. At the same time, there was also the thunder-related skills. For him, the best judgment was also the thunder-related skills. At the moment, whether Lei Zhuan deceived Lin Shiqi or not, if there were any errors in the skills and maps, his system prompt should appear. At the same time, and more importantly, since Lei Zhuan was married into the family, he would cancel the forbidden formation in his mind and replace it with the Lin family's Jade Book and forbidden formation. At the same time, he made a heavenly oath and cared about the Lin family. Soon, Lei Zhuan handed Lin Shiming 2 jade slips, one of which depicted the practice of Zixia Shenla Iju, and the other jade slip depicted the location of the secret realm and the map of the Huangpan secret realm. Zixia Shenla Iju is a low-grade Zhuan level practice, and at the same time, it is also equipped with a secret method. It is very powerful and can be cultivated to the late stage of Zifu. Lin Shiming accepted the jade slip and said goodbye. Lin Shiqi and Lei Zhuan were left in the room. Lin Shiming did not look for Lin Yuking immediately, but flew towards the Kinglian Pond. In the pavilion of the Kinglian Pond, he released his spiritual consciousness and pointed directly to the wing room next to the meeting hall. After observing Lei Zhuan for half an hour, and confirming countless times that Lei Zhuan's eyes were not acting or false, he gradually put his mind at ease. Then, he sent a message to Lin Yuking, asking him to come to the Green Lotus Pond. At this moment, Lin Shilai became another exception in the Lin family. He lived in a new cave next to the Green Lotus Pond during the key training period. You know, the last exception was Lin Shiming himself. Lin Shiming and Lin Yuking found Lin Shilai, who was obviously stronger than 2 years ago and had become a strong young man. Master, Grandpa. Lin Shilai also hurried out to greet him. Shilai, try to change this technique. Lin Shiming took out the jade slip directly. Lin Shilai was only at the 2nd level of key training, so changing the technique was also simpler. With Lin Shiming, a foundation-building cultivator, he could help Lin Shilai disperse his power in a short period of time. Then regroup the spiritual energy. The previous thunder-related techniques were only of the upper grade of the yellow rank, and the highest practice was to the late stage of foundation building, so he almost didn't think much about it, and directly began to disperse the power and practice again. After a day, Lin Shilai successfully dispersed his energy and retrained. He completed a small Zhaoshan and a large Zhaoshan by himself. After confirming that there was no prompt, Lin Shiming walked out of Lin Shilai's cave. Lin Yuking also walked out with a smile on his face. Thank you, Patriarch. Grandpa, what are you talking about? You are the elder of the family, and Shilai is also a real genius. Lin Shiming replied with a smile. But Lei Zhuan. Lin Yuking also knew about Lei Zhuan's marriage. No problem, just like Lei Zhuan had no choice, we also had no choice, and I think he was not false to the third sister. Lin Shiming replied, and then saw that Lin Yuking wanted to say more, so he spoke again. What if Lei Zhuan really has bad intentions? Doesn't Grandpa still think that Shiming can't suppress Lei Zhuan? When Shilla grows up, he can also suppress Lei Zhuan. Lin Shiming's words are naturally not aimless. At this moment, he has the body refining technique of Mountain Ape body refining technique, the secret method of condensing spiritual consciousness, and the soul refining technique. Next, he only needs to settle down for 10 years to make rapid progress. In the face of absolute strength, he was confident that he had nothing to worry about. After Lin Yuking left, Lin Shiming reported the news to Lin Xianzi. The latter also nodded, obviously very satisfied with the decision. In this way, not only did it solve the problem of how to let Lei Zhuan enter the Lin family's family jade book and keep the secret of the secret realm, but it also brought a genius to the family. As Lin Shiming's seventh uncle, Lin Xianzi at this time was more looking forward to what kind of talent the descendants of Lei Zhuan and Lin Shiki would have. As for the enemy Zhang family, when they have enough strength, the Lin family may be able to help Lei Zhuan and resolve the latter's knot. With the affirmation of the seventh uncle, Lin Shiming no longer had any doubts in his heart. However, because of Lei Zhuan's identity, the wedding of the two was not reported, but a small celebration was held by the elders. Lei Zhuan also moved from the Lei family to the Lin family. From then on, he was a member of the Lin family, with the family jade book and the oath of heaven, double constraints. On the third day after the celebration, the candidate for the Lin family to enter the secret realm was finally finalized. The 9th level key training monks who entered the yellow grade secret realm this time included Lin Yuking, the head of the Law Enforcement Hall, Lin Haoyong, the head of the Monster Hunting Hall, Lin Haoxiao, the head of the Formation Hall, Lin Yuzhen, the head of the Business Hall, Lin Haowei, who ranked 13th in the Hao generation, and Lin Haoxuan, who ranked 15th in the Hao generation. Except for Lin Yudi, the head of the Weapon Training Hall, almost all the 9th level key training elders applied to enter the yellow grade secret realm. The 8th level key training elders included Lin Shitao, Lin Haoyuan, Lin Shiai, and the 7th level key training elders included Lin Shiao and others. There were 13 people in total. Almost all of the Lin family members were senior executives this time, firstly to keep it secret, and secondly, this was the first time in 30 years that the yellow grade secret realm was opened, and they were worried that the monsters inside were powerful. If the family monks were not strong, they would perish in the secret realm. Before leaving, the Lin family also announced to the public that they would hold an elder competition. The mountain protection formation was opened, and even the monks recalled from various places this time were not allowed to leave. Chapter 147 Natural Formation. Jianzhou, Ping County. A spiritual boat flew from the sky and stopped in front of two nearby green mountains. A young man in a green shirt stood in front of a white-haired young man, holding a jade slip in his hand and frowning. Seventh uncle, the twin mountains are as steep as a sword, it should be here. Well, check it out. This group of people are the Lin family cultivators who came from Fangmu Mountain. In addition to the Lin family, Lei Zhuan and Lin Shiki are also there. However, Lei Zhuan has never been to the secret realm, but only the records of the ancestors' classics, so the Lin family has discovered many twin peaks. But they did not find the entrance to the secret realm. Seventh uncle, there is a lake, it should be here. At the foot of the Green Mountain, there is a huge lake of 1,000 feet in size. The huge lake does not emit a trace of spiritual energy, as if it is really an ordinary mountain lake. The lake's surface is unusually calm, and the breeze blowing on the lake's surface can hardly cause a ripple. This is not a lake, it is a formation. Lin Haoxiao suddenly walked to the front of the spiritual boat and said affirmatively. Then Lin Haoxiao took out the formation flag and began to break the formation. Lei Zhuan was also watching from behind. Obviously, he didn't know that there was a formation to cover the secret realm. For this reason, he came forward and obviously wanted to explain to Lin Shiming. After all, according to this, the records in the jade slips were not all consistent. The Lin family members were not surprised. If there was no formation, the secret realm would not have been discovered all the time. This is not a set formation, this is a natural spirit formation. After reading it, Lin Haoxiao put away a set of formation flags, took out a new set of formation flags, and spoke more excitedly. For him, ordinary formations may not be challenging, but this is the spirit formation of heaven and earth, the great power of nature. Not to mention understanding it thoroughly, even if he can comprehend the fur, he can benefit infinitely. We found a way out. Lin Haoxiao suddenly said excitedly after continuously detecting with the formation flags. Everyone looked in the direction of his gaze and saw Lin Haoxiao stop at a corner of the lake. Seventh uncle, master, this is the node where the secret realm connects to this world. Lin Zianzi and Lin Shiming also immediately walked to node pointed out by Lin Haoxiao by the lake. This is so well hidden. After repeatedly scanning with his spiritual sense countless times, he found that in this space, the void ripples once every quarter of an hour. And you know, if others look from here, they will only think it is a ripple on the lake and will not doubt anything. Seventh uncle, it's up to you to break the barrier next. Lin Shiming said respectfully to Lin Zianzi. This kind of yellow-grade small secret realm has a very thin barrier with the world. After all, the spiritual power of the small world is still drawn from the main world. It can be broken by gathering 5 or 6 foundation building cultivators, or even a cultivator at the peak of foundation building. Lin Zianzi didn't say anything, and directly flew out a green lotus sword, and the green sword light suddenly shone. However, Lin Shiming faintly saw that there was a golden sword light inside the green sword light. Rinshu is outside and Zhengjin is inside. This is obviously the swordsmanship of the seventh uncle after the improvement of Rinshu Zhengjinju. Although it does not look as imposing and overwhelming as before, he believes that the sword moves of the seventh uncle will be more fierce at this moment. The sword power is restrained, the sword light is compressed, and it will burst out. I am afraid it will be far better than before. Sure enough, Lin Zianzi shouted softly. The blue sword light slashed out, accompanied by blue lotus blooming. In an instant, the sword energy filled the sky and the sword light appeared layer by layer. That piece of space was broken like a mirror. A large hole of black nothingness was revealed. Seeing this, Lin Zianzi took out another third-level upper-grade solid spirit talisman to stabilize the passage and prevent the space from healing. Success. Lin Shiming was also very surprised to see this, and then summoned the golden eagle to let the latter explore the way. The golden eagle first stood on Lin Shiming's shoulder, drank a sip of spiritual water, and took a piece of spiritual beast meat, and then slowly went towards the black hole. Soon, as the golden eagle flew in the blink of an eye, everyone could not see the golden eagle. Only Lin Shiming could sense that the golden eagle was not dead. Half a quarter of an hour. A quarter of an hour. After half an hour, the golden eagle finally flew out again. It was not attacked, but took out an unknown spiritual fruit. Seeing this, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Shiming ordered the golden eagle to fly arrogantly in the secret realm. If there were third-level monsters, the golden eagle would not be able to leave this small secret realm. Grandpa, and everyone, get ready, you can go in now, remember to follow the map, be careful. Lin Shiming kept reminding them. This was the first time the Lin family obtained the yellow secret realm, and it was also the first time they sent people into the yellow secret realm. Everyone, pay attention to the golden thunder bamboo and the minxin tea tree, especially the latter. There may be wood monsters in the minxin tea tree. Lin Shiming combined Leizhuan's information and reminded everyone. Both the golden thunder bamboo and the bright heart tea tree are relatively important, and the latter can be developed into an industry. As for the demon luring grass, he just wanted everyone to pay attention. The little bearded monk just attracted him to talk nonsense, and it was not really in the secret realm. On the contrary, there are many other spiritual herbs, even third-level spiritual herbs. Third-level spiritual fruits may appear, and the guardian spirit beasts are at most second-level peak demon beasts. Don't worry, seventh brother. Lin Shitao still raised his fist and called seventh brother, and then turned and walked towards the secret realm, leaving a pretty figure. After speaking, the Lin family also entered the Huangpan secret realm one by one, while Lin Shiming and Lin Zianzi acted as guardians, constantly looking around, preventing sudden demon beasts from appearing and disrupting the passage. Leizhuan and Lin Shiki were also outside. As the last person entered, Lin Zianzi also took back the spirit talisman. The secret passage healed slowly. After confirming that there was no problem, Lin Shiming and Lin Zianzi each chose a corner and quietly guarded this side. It was communicated in advance. 3 days later, the passage will be open to welcome everyone out. This time, Lin Zianzi brought the family jade book. If more than 1/3 of the family members were injured, he would immediately break the barrier and take Lin Yuking and others out. Lin Shiming sat in a corner of the lake, took out the calming cushion, and released the golden-winged mantis and the red-haired demon monkey. As soon as the red-haired demon monkey appeared, the surrounding lake water began to boil. The terrifying heat made the entire lake surface squeak. After receiving Lin Shiming's signal, the red-haired demon monkey also jumped up and jumped towards the two green mountains. This is also to prevent enemies or monsters from coming from afar. Lei Zhuan, who was standing aside, was shocked when he saw the red-haired demon monkey and the tail behind it. Such a strange beast might have a stronger combat power than an ordinary mid-stage foundation-building cultivator. Thinking of Lin Shiming's strength, Lei Zhuan immediately looked at Lin Shiming with more respect. What he didn't know was that not far from him, a golden-winged mantis wearing a green lotus Taoist robe was lying quietly. Chapter 148 Tea Tree Demon. In the secret realm, a beautiful green figure was walking cautiously in the dense forest. Behind him, a green-shirted monk with a wine gourd followed closely. These two people were Lin Shitao and Lin Haowei. As soon as the Lin family entered the secret realm, they were divided into 6 groups according to their strength, and each of them was moved. Basically, a cultivator of the 9th level of key training was paired with a cultivator of the 8th or 7th level of key training. Only Lin Haoxun, because he was an alchemist, was paired with the body cultivator Lin Shibai and the formation master Lin Shiyan. Uncle 13, let's go directly to Mingxin tea. In fact, it's not bad to find some spiritual fruits for brewing spiritual wine. Lin Haowei muttered, but seeing that the latter almost didn't stop, he went to the Mingxin tea valley recorded on the jade slip map. He could only sigh and follow. After the two passed through the dense forest, they also arrived at a tea valley, where many tea trees appeared. The tea trees were all sprouting, as if it was early spring, desperately absorbing the sun. At a glance, it felt green and full of vitality. They are all spiritual tea trees. Uncle 13, be careful. The jade slips record that there are phantom wasps here. This kind of phantom wasps can release a kind of hallucinogenic pollen. Lin Shitao reminded again. Lin Haowei also nodded, looking at Lin Shitao with some emotion in his eyes. This girl really does not care about anything that is beneficial to Lin Shiming. Everyone in the Lin family knows that Lin Shiming is a wood-attributed cultivator. In recent years, there are also many family disciples with wood-attributed spiritual roots who specialize in wood-attributed exercises. Finding the spiritual tea tree demon is also the most beneficial to Lin Shiming. Sure enough, the next moment, the two of them felt a flash in front of their eyes, and a strong sense of sleepiness came over them. The two of them immediately took out a pill and swallowed it. The next moment, they saw a large number of palm-sized yellow spiritual bees in front of them. In front of the spiritual bees, a large amount of pale white pollen was spreading. These spiritual bees are different from Lin Shiming's spiritual bees. These bees almost do not produce spiritual honey. All the nectar is swallowed on the spot and stored as hallucinogenic powder. This kind of bee is a second-level medium-grade demon beast. Its danger lies in its unexpectedness. If they are not prepared and there is no map prompt, they may be fascinated by the hallucinogenic powder. At that time, they will be covered by more and more obvious pollen and may attack each other. The two held their breath. Lin Shitao released the Kinglian sword and unfolded the Lihiro sword technique. In an instant, countless flame swords appeared and spread towards the phantom wasp. Lin Haowei also threw out the spiritual gourd, and a large amount of yellow sand poured out, turning into a sandstorm, engulfing the phantom wasp. With the cooperation of the two spells, hundreds of phantom wasps died instantly. When the spirit bee died, Lin Shitao also waved his hand and turned into a spiritual hand to retract the spirit bee's bee tail stinger. Then he walked to the spirit tea tree and picked up the fresh and tender tea leaves one by one. The spirit tea tree is different from ordinary tea trees. Only a few clusters at the top of the tea tree are full of spiritual energy and the best spirit tea. A 10-year-old spiritual tea tree, covering a large area, can only produce a small amount of spiritual tea, and you have to know that this secret realm has not been picked for 30 years. The entire hundreds of spiritual tea trees may only be able to pick more than 20 kilograms of spiritual tea in the end. Previously, the Lei family came here once every 10 years, and each time they could only pick about 10 kilograms of Mingxin tea. In the center of the tea trees, there was a huge tea tree 3 or 4 meters high, with an extremely wide and dense crown, and camellia flowers were blooming at this moment. It's the second-level top-quality tea tree without a doubt. The two also walked towards the tea tree. This is obviously the Mingxin tea tree, where the Lei family picked the second-level top-quality spiritual tea. Only this tea tree has the best effect. If you drink it for the first time, There's even a chance that a cultivator will break through some small bottlenecks and increase his cultivation from then on. Long-term drinking can also increase the cultivator's understanding and enlightenment. Be careful. Just as Lin Shitao walked forward, Lin Haowei also shouted. At some point, behind Lin Shitao, a tree man suddenly emerged from the ground, and countless roots stabbed towards Lin Shitao's chest. The speed of the spiritual tree roots was extremely fast. However, Lin Shitao was not surprised. As if he had been prepared, he stabbed out with a flaming sword and chopped all the countless spiritual roots. At the same time, a golden guard appeared above Lin Shitao's head, and countless spiritual sands turned into spiritual shields, blocking the roots coming from the Tea Tree King's body. The Tea Tree Demon faced the flaming sword, and fear suddenly appeared in his eyes, rushing towards the ground. But it was too late. At some point, a strand of gold and silver thread passed through several of its roots. The extremely hard roots were like tofu at this moment and were easily cut off. The Tea Tree Demon suddenly howled in pain like a strange beast. As a wood demon, although it can move and attack like a strange beast, it is just a wood demon after all. After its roots were cut off, its vitality was immediately seriously injured. And what greeted it was a golden spiritual bell. It was the Kunshin bell. With a burst of mysterious light, the heaven-trapping bell directly trapped the wood monster. Sure enough, it's just as Brother Qi expected. Lin Shitao said with a smile, and then put away the heaven-trapping bell. It's really good. The master of the family is worthy of being watched by me. The golden thread and silver thread magic weapon he gave me is simply a magical weapon. Lin Haowei was also a little emotional. After dealing with the wood monster, he finally relaxed a little and took a sip of spiritual wine. Let's take the tea tree body away, maybe it can still survive. Lin Shitao took out the spiritual sword again and pulled up the tea tree king by the roots. As for the ordinary spiritual tea trees, only about 10 were pulled out, and the rest were in the secret realm, and they might grow even better. While Lin Shitao and the others were harvesting, a black crocodile pond appeared. At this time, 3 monks were not far away, quietly observing. A dozen giant crocodiles with dim light all over their bodies were lying in the pond, quietly waiting for food to come. Is that the demon luring flower that the master of the family said? Lin Shitao asked Lin Haoxuan. They came here to find the blood crocodile flower for practicing body refining skills, but what surprised them was that next to the blood-colored blood crocodile flower, there were some light red spiritual flowers. The number of spiritual crocodiles was far beyond the 3 people's expectations. There were more than 20 of them, and there were 3 peak-level monsters. It's the luring monster flower. As an alchemist, Lin Haoxuan could naturally recognize it and nodded vigorously. They all knew that Lin Shiming needed the luring monster flower, and the contribution points of this flower in the family exchange were also huge, and it could be exchanged for foundation-building pills. Maybe he wouldn't have to owe the family a contribution point like Lin Haoyang. However, even though the treasure was in front of them, the 3 did not move, but looked embarrassed. They were no match for these 20 or so spiritual crocodiles. Uncle 15, I can set up a late-stage formation, and we will lure the crocodiles. Crocodile food will fight, but second-stage late-stage monsters will also have disputes. We just need to lure them slowly. Chapter 149, Crocodile Business Opportunities. Lin Shitao took out the formation flag and began to set up the formation at the narrow pass of the crocodile pond. The formation was a top-grade formation flag refined by Lin Haoxiao. It was also extremely convenient to set up. Lin Shitao was not weak in the formation talent. Once he used it, he quickly set up the formation. Once the formation was completed, Lin Shitao nodded and suddenly took out the iron rod and smashed it towards a black-skinned crocodile at the outermost edge of the crocodile pond. The spirit crocodile thought it was a prey that came to drink water and was about to stay still, but Lin Shitao didn't know that he was here to move the crocodile. The spirit crocodile only had time to open its huge mouth, but was hit by Lin Shitao's stick. Suddenly, there was a sound of bones breaking. A second-level middle-grade demon crocodile was directly smashed to death. Almost at the same time as the stick was smashed, countless water arrows as thick as buckets shot out, followed by 5 or 6 giant crocodiles with a strong smell jumped out of the water and bit towards Lin Shitao. Among them were 2 second-level late-stage demon crocodiles and 1 second-level peak demon crocodile. Fortunately, Lin Shitao took out a magic talisman in advance, and with a slap, His already terrifying speed was accelerated again, and he quickly retreated to the edge of the pond. As expected, only the few demon crocodiles that jumped up first quickly caught up and rushed into the formation. Obviously, the 3 second-level peak demon crocodiles here are divided into 3 groups, each occupying 3 corners of the crocodile pond. Almost at the same time as the crocodiles entered the formation, a 1,000-layer mountain quickly flew out, turned into a giant mountain, and smashed towards the second-level peak demon crocodile. As the formation enveloped, the 5 elements tower rushed out again, and the 5 element spells bombarded several spirit crocodiles. Various spiritual spells were overwhelming, and even the demon crocodiles with thick skin and flesh could not bear it at all. The second-level peak demon crocodile king was obviously anxious and wanted to fortify the 1,000-layer mountain, but when he didn't notice, 2 snow-white silver threads passed through and instantly pierced the demon crocodile king's head. It was the Zuanpo needle. The 3 used a large number of flying swords to kill all the remaining spirit crocodiles. The master's magic weapon is really terrifying. After the 3 used it, they looked at each other and sighed. If they didn't have these 3 top-grade magic weapons, they would probably have to spend a lot of skills to kill the spirit crocodiles. Hurry up and continue to lure them. There are still many good things in the secret realm. The family will only get 50% this time. Lin Yi continued. The other 2 also nodded repeatedly. With these 3 magic weapons in hand, they believed that even compared with the elders of the Yu generation in the family, the harvest would not be much less. Especially Lin Yi. He hoped that this harvest, plus the harvest from his alchemy hall, would make up 100,000 contribution points to exchange for foundation building pills. 15th Uncle, if these crocodiles are kept in Kinglian Lake, will the family's future spirit armor be settled? Lin Yi suddenly said, holding the body of a spirit crocodile. Lin Yi and Lin Yi also squatted down and stroked the animal skin of the spirit crocodile. I only felt a very soft feeling, but you have to know that when they attacked, if it weren't for the formation and the 3 top-grade magic weapons, they couldn't even break the defense, which shows how thick the spiritual armor is. Okay, catch a few alive and take them out to ask 4th Uncle. The family raises red spiritual fish. Now there are foundation-building cultivators, raising spiritual crocodiles is not a problem. After all, spiritual crocodiles are also highly dependent on water. Lin Yi also felt his eyes light up. Then he continued to lure spiritual crocodiles, but only killed the late 2nd stage and peak 2nd stage spiritual crocodiles. On the contrary, Lin Yi and his 3 companions captured 6 2nd stage middle grade spiritual crocodiles alive. After killing the spiritual crocodiles, the 3 began to collect blood crocodile flowers and demon luring flowers. Lin Yi was more careful in collecting demon luring flowers. This was the spiritual plant that Lin Shiming emphasized. He also knew the existence of demon luring pills. After the 3 collected mature spiritual medicines, they also collected some spiritual medicine seedlings. There was no light, and at the same time, 2 more spiritual crocodiles were released and put back into the crocodile pond. This is not because they are kind, but because the family will come again in 10 years. They don't want the secret realm to become a dead secret realm by then. At this time, in addition to the crocodile pond, there are many places in the entire secret realm where monsters are being killed and spiritual medicines and fruits are collected. In the nameless mountain, Lin Yi's eyes were burning. He collected the skin of a 2nd-level peak monster, and then picked up the 3rd-level spiritual medicine, the essence fruit, which was the main medicine for refining the essence pill. The spiritual medicine is very old. If it is placed in the market, it is worth 10,000 or 20,000 spiritual stones. And here, Lin Yi has collected a lot of 3rd-level spiritual fruits. With Lin Yi, there is a cultivator of the 8th level of key training in the Hao generation. Uncle, your strength is getting stronger and stronger. You can even kill the 2nd-level peak monster at will. This is just knowing the weaknesses of the monster in advance. There is nothing to brag about. The current Shi and Hao generations are geniuses. Lin Yi also replied cheerfully. With Lin Shili, he can be considered to be in a perfect state of mind. Unintentionally, his strength has been further improved. It's just a pity that he is over 60 years old and can't fight for the foundation. But he was born when the Lin family was defeated and left in the glory of the Lin family. It can be regarded as a blessing. In the whole secret realm, there are traces of the Lin family team in many places. With Leizhuan's map, The Lin family is also familiar with all the monsters. Only a few monsters that suddenly mutated caused trouble to the Lin family. As a second-level peak array master, Lin Haoxiao has a huge harvest. He has harvested no less than 10 third-level spiritual medicines and a lot of second-level top-grade spiritual medicines. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye, and Lin Xianxi outside opened the array as promised. The group of people had joy on their faces. 13 people, 12 came out, and Lin Xianxi and Lin Shiming also breathed a sigh of relief at the same time. In their opinion, the fall was completely unavoidable. Looking at the faces of the people, although they were a little sad, they couldn't hide the joy on their faces. Let's go back to Fangmu Mountain and discuss it. Everyone must swear a heavenly oath this time not to leak the secret information. Lin Xianxi took out the third-level high-quality spirit boat, set sail directly, and flew towards Fangmu Mountain. Seeing that Lin Xianxi didn't speak, everyone didn't discuss it, but took the time to practice and restore spiritual energy on the spirit boat. This time, the Lin family Fangmu Mountain clan land only had Lin Haoyan and Lin Shiji. There were not many late-stage key training cultivators stationed, and everyone was still a little worried about Fangmu Mountain. And Lin Shiming also learned about the existence of wood monsters and monster luring grass from Lin Shitao and Lin Haoxuan. This was undoubtedly great news for him. His swallowing spirit ants could finally let them devour each other and reproduce. Moreover, with the heart of the wood monster, Lin Shiming was thinking about cultivating the wood monster to the third level and then refining a heart of heavenly wood. The highest level of the secret method of cultivating the spirit of heavenly wood is to have 2 hearts of heavenly wood at the same time. Although Minxin tea is a shrub, the existence of the wood monster is different. Chapter 150 Huge Harvest. Fangmu Mountain, beside the Qinglian Pond, and the pavilion, are bustling again. Except for Lei Xuan and Lin Shiki, all the people who participated in the Huangpan secret realm have arrived here. Okay, everyone, tell us about your harvest. The family will take 50%, and the family will purchase this 50% at half the contribution. At the same time, if there are 50% of materials left, the family will purchase them at a premium of 20% contribution if they are willing to sell them. Lin Shiming, as the head of the family, spoke first. All eyes were also on Lin Yuking. As the elder of the family and the head of the law enforcement hall, he was naturally the first to show. Okay, I'll be the first to talk. Lin Yuking also laughed, and then he took out the spiritual medicine, of which there were 20 third-level spiritual medicines, including 4 essence fruits and 5 huling grasses. The former is the main medicine for refining the essence pill, the advanced cultivation pill, and the latter is the main medicine for huing pill. The value is quite high. In some large shops, it can be sold for 10,000 spirit stones per plant. Of course, for the Lin family at this moment, there is a third-level alchemist, so there is no need to sell spirit medicine. After refining it into pills, the profit will definitely be higher. The remaining third-level spirit medicines, although not common, are also valuable. In addition, Lin Yuking took out a lot of monster materials. Master, all the spirit medicines are exchanged for contribution points. Lin Yuking is a physical cultivator. He is now devoted to cultivating Lin Shili. All the materials are useless. They are all exchanged for contribution points. Okay, Grandpa, here are 20 third-level spirit medicines. Calculated at 10,000 spirit stones per plant, it is converted into 170,000 contribution points. The monster materials are all second-level late-stage monster materials, which are converted into 100,000 contribution points, a total of 270,000 contribution points. With Lin Shiming's announcement, everyone felt a trance. You should know that the Lin family's annual profit from all industries is only 30,000 to 40,000 spirit stones. The great elder Lin Yuking alone has a profit of nearly 400,000 to 500,000 spirit stones. And this is just Lin Yuking alone. In total, the Lin family will definitely gain a lot of elixirs and magic tools through this trip to the secret realm, and the cultivator's cultivation will also increase rapidly again because of the sufficient elixirs. Lin Yazheng, a total of 210,000 contribution points. Lin Haoyang, a total of 230,000 contribution points. Lin Haoxiao, a total of 380,000 contribution points. As expected, as Lin Shiming read out one by one, everyone began to become numb. Especially Lin Haoxiao, as a second-level peak formation master, he is like a fish in water. He has gained a total of 380,000 contribution points. And Lin Shitao and Lin Haoyi did not disappoint Lin Shiming. They brought back a living second-level late-stage wood demon and 50 or 60 minx and tea trees. If they are grown alive, the Lin family will have another minx and tea industry after the spiritual fish industry and the gold and iron ore industry. By then, the family will surely develop more rapidly. Lin Haoyi and Lin Shitao's contribution points were 120,000 each. Although it was a little less, you should know that half of the minx and tea trees were not exchanged for the family, but they kept them and planned to plant them in the spiritual medicine garden. For them, it was also a long-term spiritual stone business. Lin Haoxun and Lin Shitai took out a living spiritual crocodile and told them about their plan to raise the spiritual crocodile in Kinglian Lake. It also made Lin Shiming's eyes shine. Although the spiritual meat of the crocodile was not as good as that of the spiritual fish, it also had other characteristics. The most important thing was that the leather armor of these spiritual crocodiles was an excellent material for refining defensive magic tools. It was also an aquatic monster. If it was kept in Kinglian Lake, there was no need to worry that the spiritual crocodile would run away. It was just that the red spiritual fish and the spiritual crocodile had to be separated, otherwise the fish might be eaten by the spiritual crocodile. Master, there are also 12 plants of the demon luring grass. Lin Haoxun spoke again. He took out 3 leaves of the demon luring grass. This demon luring grass, like the golden thunder bamboo, was a spiritual medicine that could grow continuously. 1 leaf for several years, 2 leaves for 10 years, and 3 leaves for 100 years. These are the 3-leaf demon luring grasses that are hundreds of years old. They are just right for Lin Shiming's spirit-devouring ants, and the spirit stones are naturally calculated as normal 3rd-level spirit stones. Lin Hao gave Lin Shitai and Lin Shian 80,000 contribution points each. And you have to know that the 3 of them still have blood crocodile grass that they haven't taken out. If they take out the blood crocodile grass, they can also exchange for hundreds of thousands of contribution points in the family. After the family members finished speaking one by one, the treasure house steward at this moment was extremely ecstatic. With these things, the 2nd and 3rd floors of the family treasure house will no longer be like before, with only a few treasures. After this trip, the family has added almost 3 million spirit stones of terrifying spiritual materials. This is equivalent to nearly 100 years of income for the Lin family. Every cultivator also made a lot of money. And this is just a relatively small yellow-grade secret realm. If it is replaced with a Kingsun Sex Zhuan-grade secret realm, how great will the harvest be? I'm afraid that it will be calculated according to the middle-grade spirit stones at that time. And it is said that the smallest yellow-grade secret realm of the Kingsun sect is calculated as 10 days to explore. There are 4 secret realms. It is conceivable that Kingsun sect has a lot of resources. Okay, in addition, I will also announce some secret methods. The family has obtained a low-grade thunder-type Zhuan level technique and a low-grade Zhuan level technique, the mountain ape body refining technique. You can exchange them for cultivation with 10,000 contribution points. Lin Shiming threw out this news, and almost everyone in the Lin family was overjoyed again. Before this, the Lin family only had 1 fire-attributed Lihara Sutra, which was a low-grade Zhuan level technique. Now there are 2 more. One is a body refining technique, and the other is a thunder-attributed technique. There was almost no suspense, and Lin Shitai exchanged them with great joy. His technique was a high-grade Wang level technique. At this moment, he had a low-grade Zhuan level technique, which was no different from a foundation-building pill for him. And it only takes 10,000 contribution points to check it. Lin Yuking did not exchange the body refining technique, but exchanged the thunder-attributed technique for his grandson. In addition, the family has 2 foundation-building pills that can be exchanged, 50,000 contribution points each. Lin Shiming took out the foundation-building pill again. After this harvest, he also needs to retreat. Now that he has contribution points, everyone is full of heroic spirit, so it is just right for them to exchange. The 2 people who exchanged are Lin Haoxun and Lin Haowei. The 2 are already in their early 50s. If they don't have the foundation-building pill, they will have no chance after they are 60. Lin Shitao and Lin Shitai are still early, so they didn't fight for it. After the exchange, the Lin family members also said goodbye one by one. The family leaders went out, and a lot of family affairs piled up, especially Lin Haoxun's alchemy, and the formation hall guarded by Lin Hao. Lin Shiming also communicated with Lin Haoxun and asked the latter to help him refine the demon luring pill. At this moment, the devouring spirit ant has been locked in the jade box for almost half a year. The fierceness has been tempered a lot. After refining the demon luring pill, it can be taken at any time for reproduction and cultivation. After doing all this, Lin Yi took the Minxin Tea King Wood demon in its body, went to the vicinity of the cave, and began to transplant the Minxin Tea King tree. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.